Welcome back, everyone. We are now starting with Division 3 Clash Royale. We're going to have a bunch of different matches. I think they're all going to be close.
Hopefully.
They should be. It's looking like we're going to have a bunch of good players here. We're going to have Stanton, Winnebago, Elkhorn Valley 1, EMF, Syracuse, Elkhorn Valley 2, and David City 2. So it's a lot of different teams from a lot of different places.
We've got two undefeated teams, it looks like. Let's see.
Stanton and Winnebago. Yeah, we'll see about that.
At least one of those has got to go away with a loss.
They're not both going to be undefeated at the end. Okay. I think they're going to start matches now.
At TV1, we have Stanton versus EMF.
First match we'll be watching will be on the left, Stanton versus EMF. And on the right, we'll have Winnebago versus David City 2.
Alrighty. More to the bridge first play. A tile high. Defends with Lumberjack. Goes out with the Goblin Gang. We get a mortar connection early. It's going to be some good single elixir damage. Pump in the back. Looks like this is probably going to be Golem.
It's like David City 2. Starting off with Mega Knight. Same thing with Winnebago. Both running Mega Knight decks.
Fireball on the pump. Defends the cannon cart with E-barbs. Then bats. And Goblin Gang has an answer to that. Good King Tower with that Dark Goblin.
Yeah.
Lots of Spear
It's
Goblin
nice to
hits.
see those King Tower activations with the Firecracker, because you see so much of it.
Yeah. Just
You do it
about
with pretty
every
much
player.
every card.
Yeah. Throughout the past divisions, we've seen just about everyone play Firecracker at some point. Test
Big
the cannon
Golem
cart.
push.
Nothing for that E-Dragon. Defends with bats, but Tornado takes care of those. Golem is still alive. That's death damage on tower. Plus the raged Golemites.
It's going to be a lot of damage for Stanton.
It's a 500 damage lead. Two Mega Knights at the bridge.
Arrows from Winnebago. But he has the Mighty Miner on David City too. That's going to be crucial for this matchup against the Mega Knight.
Looks like we've got a Miner Wall Breakers and a Bridge Spam hybrid here with that Mega Knight against this Mega Knight Hog, most likely EQ. Mighty Miner on the Mega Knight.
Again with that Mighty Miner.
It's a lot of value.
It has that ramp up, so the longer it attacks a target, it just does more damage.
Switches lanes to take care of that Royal Ghost. The delivery on the Prince. But it looks like they're going to need a bit more than that, especially with the archers. Here comes the Mega Knight. But nothing left for those
The
Miner
right
Wall Breakers.
side gets Winnebago a lot of damage.
Great split lane pressure from Winnebago there.
Yeah, that's really good attack. And on the left side, you see Stanton taking that tower. Not quite getting the 3 crown, but taking game 1.
At overtime here, we're going to most likely see a big spell soon in this Hog cycle.
Which is going to be hard, though. The Winnebago just needs 3 arrows or a minor hit.
Indeed. Misses the arrows on the tower there. We're going to see either an Earthquake, maybe a Lightning here. They're Fireball.
Fireball.
Interesting. But those will get some good splashes, but I don't think it's enough.
We'll see if David City can defend long enough. On the left side, EMF got a balloon connection, but used all his elixir, and that is a big swarm on his tower. Yeah, that's a lot
Like a
of
tower
damage.
trade. There's a couple minor hits and arrows, and that's the game.
Oh, that's a Winnebago taking round 1 over David City 2.
Just one with that great minor wall breakers with that Dark Goblin there.
Yeah, that one push shows how much just one mistake can cost you a game, or one really good play. Good push coming in from Stanton on the left side.
Pressuring opposite lanes, we got Hog Rider and then a Skeleton Barrel, both countered by their respective buildings. Looks like we've got an E-Giant. Lots of value on that defense of E-Giant there. Looks like it's all dead, and Mega Knight might need to be defended. There it goes, and we'll likely see a balloon with this. Not enough elixir, though. Might save for defense.
Kind of has to, because you don't want to lose too many towers, especially in single elixir.
Yeah.
It still is.
Doesn't really seem to have much for that Skeleton King ability. Was afraid of that miner again. The Archer Queen coming out from David City. From both sides, actually. We got that Queen Skeleton King Hog Cycle that we saw a lot of back when they buffed that Skeleton King. That Giant Skeleton, rather.
Personally, it's a very nice deck to use.
It's a very
'cause
nice deck.
You have a bunch of defense, split lane opportunities, but with that, it's gonna be hard to get anything with the Skeleton Barrel for David City too.
Indeed.
Winnebago just has so many counters to that.
Well, we're yet to see their win condition. There it is. There comes the RG. Just baited out that building. That's sure to get a couple hits. But with that Ice Spirit and the Skeletons early,
Oh
it
wow,
fully defends.
that's such a clean
Wow.
defense.
Along with a great counter push. Here comes Mini P.E.K.K.A. Good cleanup for that Giant Skeleton.
Left side's still looking pretty even between Stanton and EMF. Both getting a bit of damage. Down one tower.
Places that Inferno Dragon too close, and it doesn't get the heat up all the way.
It's looking like Stanton might get this here.
Early
It's a
zap. Defensive freeze.
Defensive freeze.
And a ton of skeletons.
Double Inferno Dragon.
That death damage, though, that Lumberjack Rage will land on the skeletons, but it looks like they don't have any answer. They already used the zap.
That's
Double Inferno Dragon takes.
that. Stanton gets round 1. 2-0 over EMF.
Both sides leaking. Arrows, nothing.
I think that might have been a misplay.
Probably.
Hope that doesn't cost him the game.
Yeah, accidentally nudged the screen there. It's easy to do. Just those giant skeleton attacks just do so much damage to the RG. Predict Earthquake. That should be a hog hit unless the Mini P.E.K.K.A.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. just comes in though.
Great snipe.
It's looking like too good.
Might need another kite. Forces out the Archer Queen there. Great job with that Archer Queen sniping the bomber. Pops that giant skeleton a little early, but forces the test on the other side. All he has is Mini P.E.K.K.A. Ice Spirit on the Mini P.E.K.K.A. It's going to be a lot of hog hits. And then Giant Skeleton connects the tower with Archer Queen. That, no ability though, but still, Bomb takes the tower. That's game.
That's what's so good about that deck. You just get one good push.
Indeed. And the
So
Giant
many
Skeleton, just
opportunities.
such counter push opportunities. It's easy to get double lane pressure.
But still, both players played really good that game. Those were both incredibly close.
Indeed. Looks like we might be seeing a log bait mirror matchup here. Arrows for the Goblin Barrel. And a Firecracker to take care of the Knight. Knight will only get one hit. Firecracker stays alive. It's an easy opportunity for a King Tower activation. Looks like we may be seeing... Misses the log! Takes out the Goblin Gang with the switch of lanes bomb. Looks like Stanton...
Missing that log though.
They are running log bait with the 3-card cycle too. Goes for the tricky barrel even after baiting the log.
Not placing it right on tower is kind of, since he had just baited log, he could have put it right on tower.
Yeah.
Gotten a bit of guaranteed value.
And Knight would have gotten us defending it. Minor poison comes out. Good value on the guards.
Really good poison there.
Looks like this may be another E-Giant.
Is that mirror? Okay.
There comes a mirror. So we've got 3-card cycle log bait plus mirror log bait. That's interesting.
So for mirror, you can place the card that you placed last for 1 extra elixir, and it's 1 level higher. So if they defend your Goblin Barrel, you can just place it again.
Indeed.
So you can apply a lot of pressure with it.
It's great for these log bait decks.
And you don't see it that often.
Yeah, because it
It's the
does
first
takes
time
the
we've
card
s-
away from your deck.
I think it's the first time we've seen it this tournament.
Possibly.
It's also good for defending, though, if he wants to log 2 things.
Indeed.
It's going to be helpful in this matchup.
Although, with Stanton's Tesla, they do have a better building for this mirror matchup here.
Their early rocket
Early
cycle,
rocket. Good predict arrows. That's a lot of damage from that Goblin Barrel.
It's a really good play.
Ice Spirit jumps on tower. Doesn't get much. Princess gets 2 hits, bringing back the lead to Stanton.
This is really even. But
Low Tesla.
Stanton just doesn't have rocket, so if they can just keep defending, EMF just keeps defending, they can just rocket cycle.
But in just 3 more cards, they're going to be back to that Goblin gang. That Goblin Barrel, rather. Although the Inferno Tower there is good protection for any Princess.
On the right side, Winnebago is just has so much damage, and he just keeps applying pressure with that minor poison and spirits.
Rocket
at the
Goblin Barrel. Will
bridge.
they see it? They do see it. They catch it. Late log. It's a little bit of damage.
And
But
there's another
EMF
minor
gets caught
push
up.
from Winnebago. Gets a tower there.
Great minor control deck right here.
Chooses
This is going to be close. And Goblin Barrel takes tower. Just 200 damage
EMF.
difference.
that
great
was
plays from both
such a
sides.
close mirror matchup.
Wow.
You'd love to see how close those are. Both of them, they both had so many good plays that game.
As a log bait player myself, I always say it's nothing more stressful than playing log bait with log bait.
Oh. Especially when they're like the different kinds. And
Yeah.
Just like all these games have been just
All right. Stanton freely leaking back any elixir. Likely playing some form of beatdown. Maybe even here comes the poison. That's almost certainly graveyard. Against likely an RG deck. Maybe some form of beatdown. Good Skeleton King hits.
looks like David City 2 on the right. It's gonna be playing P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. Maybe Mega Knight, but probably P.E.K.K.A.
Against what may be Hog Cycle. Possibly. You don't see.
Graveyard.
Could be Graveyard, yeah, Splash Yard. You don't see much Valk with Hog anymore. That used to be kind of a thing.
Yeah, not after. Yeah, that's looking like that's gonna be Splash Yard, or like a Lumber Loom, but
Yeah, it could be. On the left. Do you think they might not have a Graveyard with that?
nope.
Yep, nope.
They do not have a
The
graveyard.
Lumber Loon. Here we
See,
go.
that's pretty good defense from
Yeah,
Stanton.
misses the rage. Looking for that
Gonna
poison
get
there
one
on
hit,
that.
though.
It's good
He's
damage
playing
there.
it good. Going in for the early poison cycle.
Yeah.
Stanton most likely has lightning or fireball or something with
It
that.
should be an easy King Tower though. Messes up the King Tower. Wow.
Oh, a bit too late on the skeletons. And then just leaking his elixir.
On the right, Winnebago just barely stopping that battle ram from connecting.
Winnebago's defenses have been pretty clean so far.
Indeed. Looks like it is most likely a giant graveyard here. which against that P.E.K.K.A. is a little bit unfortunate for them. Here's a Tornado King Tower. There we go. Oh, blade. Need something else. Good E-Wiz, but now
Stanton has some really good dual lane pressure here on the
with
left
this
side.
cycle deck and double elixir, it's just so easy for them to get down multiple RGs. That'll be quite a bit of damage. But let's the E-Wiz go.
Giant on tower for Winnebago on the right.
Wow. A great push.
67 health left from Winnebago. Really good push from him there.
Probably get that with Tornado. Good opposite lane on that Ghost. E-Wiz doesn't quite go out. Still going offensive with that P.E.K.K.A. That Giant is going to take tower. With only 20 seconds left.
EMF
Tornado.
trying to get some defenses here and trying to get some offense, but not going the lane with the lower health tower.
Probably going to go for that poison cycle.
She needs 2 poisons on the left.
Well, if they just got death damage poison, they would probably win. It's a Lumberloon.
And Winnebago takes round 1 over David City 2. That was a close match.
Finally gets the King Tower. But when all you need is death damage, the King Tower doesn't help that much with the balloon.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting here.
If we just see 1 balloon on that left side there, it should be game, along with the poison. Without a building, it's really difficult to stop that balloon
There's
from
a
getting
couple
any death damage.
skeleton hits, and
There we go.
it's EMF.
Very clean game.
That's a really good win right there. EMF is the 8 seed going into Stanton, who's the 1 seed, undefeated, with EMF with their record of 5-5.
Skeleton to the middle. Golden Knight at the back. We could be seeing Golden Knight from both sides. Maybe seeing some E-Giant. There it comes. First play. And then the other side's likely playing a split lane deck. Yep. 2 favorites of Golden Knight. No Tornado for that flying machine. It's a lot of value. And looks like we might get King Tower with that Zappy. Indeed we do. The flying machine's still at full health. Misses the Ice Spirit. It's going to be 3 hits.
Gonna have to see which variation the Winnebago player is using. He already shown skeletons, which you usually do not see in this deck.
Yeah.
Are they just gonna run and cannon cart?
Interesting. With the Recruits Evolution that came out, you see a lot more cycle with Recruits, but with Evolution's not allowed here. It's not something you'd expect.
Yeah. Looks like EMF on the left is gonna be playing a Mega Knight deck into Stanton's Hog Rider.
There's the pigs. Split. Any cannon? No.
That
Down
one
way far on
Zappy is
Elixir.
gonna be huge in getting damage. Just keeps resetting the tower.
Forced to use the Golden Knight ability early. Here's that flying machine. Has not shown any answer for it yet. With 2 small throws, I'd expect a lightning or so, but they don't have Elixir for that. Which high?
It's a really good defense from Stanton with this Hog Rider deck.
Great defense on that Hog Rider. No hits. Although we do get a splash from that Firecracker.
Recruits in the back from Winnebago on the right.
Leaks and places E-Giant in 1 lane.
Interesting, he's going Firecracker same lane as well. Mega Knight on tower on the left for EMF. That's a lot of damage for him. That is huge. And just keeps putting pressure. Not gonna let Stanton recover.
Golden Knight
from
gets
that.
a good dash value here. Wow. That's likely tower. Only 5 Elixir. Good arrows. But can they find enough damage before this is end? Arrows there. No dash. Golden Knight the bridge. Very aggressive.
Going into overtime on the right screen between David City 2 and Winnebago.
We're just forced to spend so much Elixir every time Pigs is placed. They can't ever get a big enough push.
Nobody has a big spell on right screen, so
This is Ice Spirit early.
looking like Winnebago should just be able to arrow cycle here.
Yeah. Good Golden Knight dash. Wow.
EMF gets the tower on the left. Gonna have to see if
Gonna
he
need
can
a log
defend
there.
for 20 seconds against this Hog Rider deck.
Yeah, this really shows how dangerous it is to play E-Giant without a tornado. It's just things like that flying machine and those zappies are just so hard to take care of on your offense. And those pigs should, with Golden Knight hits, that is going to be tower. A good close game.
So Winnebago gets round one. It's really
Left side even closer.
I wonder if David City 2 is going to show like a minor control or something.
Yeah.
Instead of using Tornado and E-Giant deck, he has
Yeah.
got
You'd think something else with Tornado.
on the left side, Stanton's going to start the game with a Battle Ram at the bridge.
Musketeer and,
And a Poison. Looks like he's going to be playing
wow.
probably P.E.K.K.A. Bridge
Probably
Spam.
P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, yeah. I've seen more of the Fireball version more recently. Probably because a lot of people are playing Minor. Need to have Poison for that. Good defense there. Speedy Balloon. Wow.
That,
With a rage.
you don't see that every day.
Wow. Never would have thought. Let's see if they can make it
Royal
work.
Ghost on tower on the left for Stanton.
There's the Hog Valkyrie I was talking about. Looks like they've got
And
Dark
that
Prince
is,
too.
that is a lot of damage for Winnebago on the right.
Indeed, and a lot of damage from that Magic Archer there for Stanton. Misses the Ewiz. Gets half a hit on tower.
And Stanton's just starting to poison everything right now.
Indeed. That Hog Miner is certainly an interesting combo. We'll see if they'll turn out a spell.
Gonna see, it's gonna be interesting. Getting a hog through a P.E.K.K.A. is not an easy thing.
No, it is not.
You might get a hit like every once in a while, but to get a whole tower back, it's gonna be kind of tough.
Indeed. Sanders doing such a great job of managing their elixir here. Never letting that hog go through untouched. And always bringing that counter push.
Winnebago takes another tower, evening it out on the right.
With only 2 air counters, although I guess delivery helps, the Speedy Balloon might prove to be effective. It's the Wizard. Valk connects in the pocket. 3 hits. It's pretty huge this late in the game.
And there's that P.E.K.K.A. on the left. just
Snipes
to
the opponent's
counter it.
Tesla with Tesla. Gonna put a tank for that Wizard? No. Without anything good for that Firecracker, though. It's just gonna be difficult for them to push in with that balloon. Zaps misses the Firecracker.
Really good push from Winnebago here. Get everything in the pocket, get that Firecracker splashing onto tower.
Good Wizard.
Wizard goes in front of the Mega Knight though.
That's unfortunate.
Not gonna be the best push. Does he have a balloon here?
Doesn't appear so. There it is.
He
Messes
keeps
up
dropping
again.
it backwards.
Wow.
Unfortunate.
Indeed. That's death damage, but that's not gonna be enough. Down 400.
Left side tied up 1-1.
There's that Mega Knight, but comes early, so doesn't have the knockback on the Hog. Splash from the Firecracker, and Hog hit takes.
Winnebago.
Taking that
2-0
second
over
game.
David City 1. Or David City 2. In that.
A lot of Mega Knight today. Tesla really far inside. Sniped by that Muskie. Forces out a Lumberjack. But the Raged Firecracker should get some value here. That is a free King Tower, though, if Stanton takes it. Does not go for the King Tower activation, sitting comfortably at 10 elixir. And leaks back its advantage. There's split E-barbs the back. Ice Wiz to defend the lane with damage. Let's see what they have here to defend dual lane pressure. So far, nothing showing on that right side. That E-Barb's going to take a lot of damage. Fireball shown. Got to be careful spacing out those glass cannons there, so they can't be hit by a single spell. Dark Goblin's going to get value with that Tesla placed too low. Firecracker comes in late. Doesn't get a hit. There's the King Tower with the Golden Knight. But placed a little bit early, so Firecracker's not being shot by tower. It's going to be a lot of value for that Firecracker.
Good
Golden Knight will dash the tower, though.
Couldn't quite get anything to block it. It's a lot of damage for Stanton.
Now they have a Lumberjack to go with that, and a Balloon. Do they have anything to take that Musketeer to the opposite side? No, and along with that King Tower, that should only be one hit.
Death damage, though.
Stanton, I think, will gladly take that with that much, 1,000 health on each of their opponent's towers. There comes the freeze.
The freeze from Stanton.
Tornado comes in too late, and that will be tower.
Well, there are just some really good pushes with all that split lane pressure and just some pretty good defenses, too. Then he gets the counter push with it.
Yeah, EMF just struggling to find ways to get both lanes defended. Struggling to break through with that Musketeer and Dark Goblin. We'll see that Dark Goblin right here, along with the Fireball, easily defends that Balloon.
And with not having a reliable spell to take care of either of them, really.
Indeed.
There's the E-Barbs in the pocket, the freeze.
And
that'll be a 3
crown.
crown.
Well played by Stanton.
Stanton 2-1. The game's tied 1-1, taking it into the third. Okay. On the right, you're going to have David City 1 versus Elkhorn Valley 1.
Looks like Expo versus a minor Mole Breakers. Playing the Expo defensively, single elixir.
As his name says, Adam loves Icepo, so the chances could be Icepo.
See if we find that Ice Wizard. Fireball on that Magic Archer, split Wall Breakers. Likely we'll see a Tesla. Or Archers, rather.
Having Fireball in this matchup is quite helpful against that Magic Archer, which is one of the main sources of damage for the minor player.
And when you've got nothing else, it can help with those Wall Breakers too, because the log won't kill.
He doesn't even have minor. David City doesn't.
Playing Knight instead, I guess. Not even a Val, which you'll often see. Knight locks onto the Magic
spell.
Archer.
This is an interesting deck variation that no big spell might hurt him in the end.
Yeah.
We'll see if he can get a breakthrough. That Expo locks onto tower for Elkhorn Valley.
No elixir.
He's just playing that really good too, defending that Expo.
Indeed. Really good for him that that Knight killed that Magic Archer early.
Fire Spirit kills the Expo a bit early, but that is a lot of damage.
Indeed. And Expo is very comfortable just sitting back with defensive Expos and throwing fireballs.
What, 3 or 4 fireballs now? He just has to
Indeed.
defend for 50 seconds.
Especially with long, so probably only 3 fireballs.
Oh, yeah.
And there we see it, that defensive Expo. Not much that David City can do here without a big spell.
Yeah, it's really just a bad matchup, kind of. You get one. That's how Expo works, though. You get one good connection, and then you just play defensive.
Indeed. We'll probably start seeing those fireballs soon. Here comes the Tesla.
Yeah, just needs to get a bit on it going into overtime in 5 seconds. So just gonna keep defensive building, and yeah.
There's the fireball. Expo with that log will easily clean it up here. Just spamming all that he has into that Expo, but it doesn't do anything.
I mean, it would be nice if David City could get something through, but I don't know if he's going to be able to.
Yeah.
Without having a big spell or really anything, your only win condition being wall breakers.
And that Magic Archer Tornado. But with that defensive expo, that's a lot rarer to connect.
Yeah, you're not going to get much with it.
Just about only thing to chain off of is that Knight.
Yeah, and he's not going to Knight at this point.
Given
It's
up.
Fireball log.
There we go.
Really well played by Elkhorn Valley there. Got that one early expo connection.
Clean game.
It's just, he just played that so good. It's just, that's why it's his name, I guess.
I guess.
He just,
Maybe we'll see the minor now from David City. There's a minor from Elkhorn.
Like it could be a Pekka bridge spam.
Could be.
Here's the Fireball.
No elixir for those wall breakers. We'll get one connect.
Looking like Elkhorn Valley is going to be playing a minor wall breaker deck.
This time actually with the minor. Switches lanes a little bit late, but kills the...
And gets a better chip
Firecracker.
damage there.
Yeah. I did not know that killed. Bandit on the minor. Good spacing, gets that dash off. I like to see those goblins come out again. There they are. Zap won't kill. The goblins really help in this matchup. Cannon, Firecracker. Really Fireball. Great Fireball. The Royal Ghost is unseen. Goes right on that Firecracker and onto the tower.
And then on the left, we're going to have Syracuse versus Stanton.
David City gets a good single elixir lead with that amazing Fireball on the cannon. Good Bandit again. Getting that dash in. Ghost comes down to defend that Mighty Miner. It's going to get a good 200 damage.
That's some really good damage with the Skeleton Barrel on the left from Stanton.
Mega Knight connect.
Then another really good push coming in from Stanton. That giant skeleton to tank for those bats. It's a lot of damage there.
And those bats to tank for that giant skeleton as well.
Yeah. The winner of the match on the left will go to play for first as the semifinal match.
Great close match with great plays from both sides over here on the right. Those goblins just really help out in this matchup. So the Zap doesn't take care of them. That Ewa's Bandit comes down in time. Wallbreakers do not connect. Firecracker's dead.
Spamming Battle Ram opposite lane.
Still has that cannon. Fireball comes in just late. And there's the goblins take out those barbs.
Don't know if David City's going to be able to...
Zaps the tower alone.
Oh, he's good.
Although that should just be Fireball Zap.
Both wall breakers connect for Syracuse.
No poison shown from Elkhorn Valley, and that'll be game.
Just David City tying it up 1-1 on the right. Amazing arrows for Syracuse on the left.
Take that
Taking
tower.
that tower.
Evening out the game mostly. Only down 400.
Looks like he's playing that Mega Knight drill deck.
Have arrows out of cycle. Skeleton Barrel gets lots of damage.
Skeleton Barrel is getting so much value here.
Yeah, with only using the Mega Knight on that offense, there isn't much else that they have, especially when using that arrows on the Firecracker.
See here, it looks like Elkhorn Valley is going to be playing a Pekka bridge spam into David City's RG, most likely.
Indeed. You see that arrows now? No arrows still.
Not enough elixir to afford the arrows.
That's still bomber hit. That's going to be a lot. Still no big spell shown. But especially just with Skeleton Barrel death damage, they should be able to finish that out.
It's a bit of damage for Syracuse.
Indeed. Using those arrows on offense, it gets them a lot of damage, but they don't really have many other answers for that skeleton barrel. RG right into Pekka. That'll be one hit with a good counter push for Elkhorn Valley. Great defense by Syracuse with the skeleton barrel of their own. Mega Knight jumps to Firecracker. Goblin getting in pocket. They don't have anything else. And that skeleton barrel death damage kills the Skarmy, and that is the game. Great plays both sides.
Looks like right side is pretty even so far. Elkhorn Valley only has 200 damage lead.
Pekka's a great answer for that RG, but with the Fisherman, you never know what could happen. Princess Bridge. We may be seeing double log bait again. We'll see what happens with this knight. Great Fisherman on the right, pulling that battle
really good defense
last
there.
second. Looks like a really quick cycle log bait. We may be seeing a Mighty Miner here. There's the...
Looks like it's going to be Goblin Giant Sparky, potentially.
Indeed. Resets the Pekka. Gets an extra hit with that RG. And David City is pulling ahead.
Going with that RG in the back. Try to build up a bigger push.
Possibly trying to get that split lane so they can't Pekka.
Elkhorn Valley gets the lineup through it. Getting a lot of damage with that Magic Archer.
Great play. Just a zap on that Pekka. Or just the Ewiz.
It's going to be a lot of damage for David City if Elkhorn Valley can't do anything about it.
Not enough elixir for another Pekka or anything, actually.
That was a really good push from David City there. Starting in the back and then building up everything.
Looks like that's going to be tower.
And then logging and zapping. That was just really good.
Syracuse still not showing their Sparky. Probably worried about a rocket from this logbait player.
As I probably should be.
Yeah. Although with these faster cycle ones, you sometimes see a fireball. Left side, heading into double elixir, sending at a pretty good elixir advantage. Spark at the bridge, naked. Ice Spirit Cannon will full counter. And then Princess to clean up the minions. Minion does get one hit as they split. Defending that Princess again, but just a zap will take those out. Or Rage even. But switches lanes to tank for that Goblin Barrel. Only zap does not kill those goblins. And that is going to be tower, it looks like.
That is a really good push from Stanton there. Switching lanes and then going in for the Goblin Barrel. Knowing that Syracuse doesn't have anything in response to the Goblin Barrel if it has a good tank.
Syracuse is just really struggling to build up a full push with all the pressure from Stanton. This is Knight and Mini Pekka a little early.
Elkhorn Valley running Balloon Freeze.
Sparky misses a Goblin.
David City looks like he's going to be playing Pekka Bridge Spam again. I've seen a lot of that today.
We may be seeing a Lumberjack or a Miner possibly, or even just plain old Rage. Never know with these balloon decks. Forced to defend Mini Peck with that Ghost. He's at half health.
Left side, Syracuse and Stanton tied 1-1.
Hog EQ looks pretty standard so far. No King Tower activation. Good Firecracker hit. Very aggressive push from David City. Going to outsing lane, but Pekka will take care of that Mega Knight.
It's like Elkhorn Valley. Yeah. It's going to be a good matchup for David City if he's going into that Mega Knight with the Pekka.
And with the Ewiz and Magic Archer, should be able to avoid that freeze. Although it would help to have a fireball. But we'll see. Might be playing poison.
Does definitely depend. Never know.
Still focusing same lane, more than I would expect. But it appears to be working. And here comes in that balloon.
Oh, has lightning.
Lightning, that's great for this matchup, I think.
Oh,
but the freeze comes. Zap
has
last
the
second.
Zap. Still gets death damage, but it's better than the 5 hits.
Logs away from their own bomb tower. That'll be 2 hog hits.
The mirror hog matchup on the left. It's going to be definitely, both of them have Earthquake too. They're going to have to see who can get more hog hits.
That bomb tower certainly helps as it doesn't die instantly to that Earthquake. But so does the mini P.E.K.K.A is also a good counter to that hog.
It really is.
We're going to see the freeze here, probably waiting for the freeze, then goes
Hits
before the
Magic
freeze.
Archer.
Misses the zap. Wow, that's going to be tower.
Dang. That
Zap was unfortunate.
That's just unfortunate how, yeah, the air cards, sometimes their things get a bit.
Yeah.
And the freeze too. Hit the prediction freeze on the Magic Archer.
Yeah.
Very well played by Elkhorn Valley right there.
Looks like possibly more P.E.K.K.A bridge spam. We're seeing a lot of the same decks. Executioner, not something you see a lot, especially without Tornado.
Can't run Tornado in every deck though.
Yeah.
It's pretty good card overall though.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure how much it will help in this matchup. Forced to bomb tower right in front of tower.
Doesn't get any hits, but
Executioner does not splash.
Coming down.
Pushes Hog to defend it early. Mini P.E.K.K.A will clean up.
No hits. Clean defense from Stanton. With a really good counter push.
Force a defensive Earthquake, and that is going to be the game. Well played both sides.
Stanton takes that one 2-1.
Just with those Psycho decks, it's so important that every single card you place on that defense is just about perfect. Looks like on the right we have Elkhorn Valley playing another P.E.K.K.A bridge spam into David City's Hog EQ. Maybe Lightning. Although I think we already saw the Lightning from them, so no. Almost certainly EQ. Maybe a Fireball. We've seen a bit of that earlier today. Firecracker avoids the minion hit.
Does he have... Barely gets back to the building. Firecracker's splashing on everything, but...
Still
actually really good defense there.
Just about even in damage here. Not enough elixir to counter push. And that Bandit placed a little bit off. Will take a hit. But forces out a Mighty Miner.
Looks like Stanton on the left is going to have potentially P.E.K.K.A bridge spam into Syracuse's Goblin Giant Sparky.
This is that E-Wiz on the right here. And that Mighty Miner gets a bit more value. P.E.K.K.A does get a final hit before that Sparky hits it.
Sparky's going towards the tower. Stanton does not have enough elixir.
Elkhorn Valley takes a lead with a good hog hit.
That's 2 Sparky hits on the tower.
P.E.K.K.A does not pull to that bomb tower, but the Battle Ram does. Good defense by David City.
It's a really close match between Elkhorn Valley and David City.
No big spell on that Magic Archer there. Hog may not get a hit with those E-Wiz stuns. It does get a hit.
Does.
Nice Spirit to take away that Ghost invincibility.
That Magic Archer is getting so much value.
On that bomb tower there, yes.
Guessing David City probably has an Earthquake then,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate in this matchup, but
Not really much to use it on other than Spell Cycle at the end.
should be good at the end though. Elkhorn Valley does not have a big spell, so
Zap will kill that Firecracker if he chooses to. There it comes. But those Goblins really help in this matchup. Zap will not kill.
looks like Stanton has a really good split lane push right here.
Not enough elixir. Bomb tower comes out last second, but it's not enough to stop. That E-Wiz just keeps ticking away and takes the tower. Great offense from Elkhorn Valley.
Well played by both of them there. Elkhorn Valley's defense and offense was just on point that game.
Indeed. With that bridge from there, you often aren't able to completely defend anything. So it's all about making sure whatever damage you do take, you immediately make back.
Which, with the left side, Stanton versus Syracuse. Stanton gets that magic archer lineup on the tower.
But Dark Prince will kill it, along with that Sparky hit there.
Those 2 Sparky hits really early, though, are really going to help him out here.
Here comes down too late. Fire Spirit splashes, and that is the tower.
And that's going to be game on the left side. Syracuse winning that first set round
Hog Cycle.
thing.
David City here. Likely with Earthquake, but you never know. Against a Long Bait, we might be seeing a Miner here with those wall breakers. Maybe not. The Valkyrie alone is a pretty good synergy. Queen crossing the bridge. Still with that ability, Mega Knight comes down and takes care of it.
Looks like Syracuse is going to have Princess. Probably a log bait deck here.
Against some form of
Yep.
cycle. Great offense by Elkhorn Valley. Mega Knight jumps on tower, splashing those goblins. That's going to be a lot of damage.
And Syracuse on the left activates the King Tower with Stanton's Firecracker. It's going to be helpful in this matchup with the Hog Rider.
David City's one's tower down to 31. It's taken out by that log. And we had 130 left. But just
for
about no damage on Elkhorn
Elkhorn
Valley.
Valley has to try to defend this.
Ice Golem will kill that Skarmy, but not entirely. That's a great defense, especially with that Valkyrie. It's going to be really difficult to push him with pigs into that Valk Mega Knight.
And with the Skeleton Army, too.
Indeed.
Stanton just has a faster cycle with that Hog Cycle. He's just going to be able to keep getting those Hogs down faster than Syracuse can get back to that Inferno Tower.
And along with that Firecracker to take care of that Dobbin gang or to get that geometry with the Knight. Valk connects. Comfortably sitting at 5 elixir. Just willing to take that damage. No Spirit Goblin hits. Log splashes all the way through.
Stanton's defense is really good right now.
Indeed. Doing the cycle. Just trying to get more hogs and those Inferno Towers can come. Will we see the Earthquake here? Yes, we do. Still fully defends, but it gets that tower damage there from the Earthquake. Forced to Valk on the Princess. See a Knight low. Tricky Barrel does not dodge the log. See a low Ice Spirit. That will get splashed. Not quite. Predict Earthquake again. Princess low gets splashed by the Firecracker.
This Firecracker is getting a lot of value in this matchup. Syracuse does not have the best way to deal with it.
Indeed. They're forced to do so much offensive Princess. When they place those defensive Princesses like that, there isn't much that they can do in offense. Here comes the log. And it's need to see a good Goblin Barrel here, but with that Firecracker and the Goblins, there isn't much that can be done.
Does have the rocket, though.
Does not go in with a Goblin Barrel with it. Saving the elixir for that Inferno Tower on defense. It's not going to be enough.
If Syracuse can keep defending, could try to rocket cycle. We'll see. Might not be enough, though, with Stanton's Earthquake.
Indeed. And with the Hog Rider, it's easier to force out a little bit of Earthquake value on that Inferno Tower. Whereas the Rocket doesn't really have anything that it can get value on that Hog or EQ deck.
Yeah, it looks like he's just going to keep doing that. And
on the right side, we see looks like a Fireball bait and possibly a drill deck. I think I have seen one like that before. Nope, Hog Rider.
oh, Interesting. Both have Fireball.
Muskie and Flying Machine both connect for big damage. Fire Spirit and Magic Archer come down late, but still get some good geometry on those two cards there. Fisherman still connects for an extra 200.
Stanton just needs one more Earthquake to finish off Syracuse's tower.
Looks like that'll be the game. Very clean game from Stanton.
Stanton's defense is just crazy. Wouldn't let anything hit his tower.
Bringing that back to 1-1. David City won. Very comfortable leaking. Fireball again. Just on that Magic Archer. Does not want to deal with that at all. Goes in pigs with this. I believe this is the second time today we've seen this split lane using that cannon cart.
And then on the left, it looks like Syracuse is going to be playing Pekka Bridge Spam again. And then Stanton's going to have that Fireball bait.
All today, we've seen so much Pekka Bridge Spam. Well, almost none of it yesterday. Quite interesting how it almost seems like we're playing in two entirely different metas.
It definitely does.
Fireball misses two pigs on the right. Pretty big damage.
Elkhorn Valley's offense just really good. He's not letting David City build up any too big of pushes, and he just keeps putting the pressure on and making him Fireball on defense instead of offense.
Misses the tower with the Fireball again, but still just making sure they don't miss that Magic Archer there. And here come the pigs. It's the Inferno Tower. Rather unfortunate building to have in this matchup. Good Ice Spirit, but Knight comes down
Flying
late.
Machine on tower. It's like that's going to be game. Maybe not.
10 health, just
He
Fireball
just fireballs
comes.
it. Yeah.
There we go.
Well played from Elkhorn Valley there.
Looks like Pekka Bridge Spam into a fairly traditional split lane deck. We'll likely see a Fireball in that final card here. Along with Pekka probably has a Zap and an E-Wiz. Not a great matchup for them.
It's the Pekka Bridge Spam with Fireball too.
Tornado.
It's going to help against the Royal Recruits and Hogs.
Still not a great matchup with that Pekka not able to do much against recruits on offense or on defense. Goes in Pekka offensively. Stanton comfortably sitting at 10 elixir, replaces recruits. That's going to be a dead Pekka. Only 6 elixir to defend both sides here from Syracuse.
Getting those Battle Ram Barbarians onto the tower. That's a
Plenty
bit
of
of
elixir
damage
for those
there.
Hogs, but that double, without a Fireball, it's going to be difficult to take care of the double Flying Machine. One connects. Takes back that lead.
Right out of range of the tower. Forces out a Magic Archer out of Syracuse.
Pekka at half health. Magic Archer too far to hit that building. And that Battle Ram is dead. Ghost on the left side to defend.
Stanton just keeps putting those pigs split lane with that Flying Machine in the middle. Makes it really hard for Syracuse to defend it with just a Magic Archer and a Fireball.
Waits a little longer with that Pekka. Still, Flying Machine is not in range. That's just a little bit more range than than like a baby dragon. Makes it hard to tell when it's in range of the tower. Fireball's the right on defense.
Looks like Stanton's going to be running the arrows variation.
Interesting. You often see the double small spell going with a champion of some sort, like the Mighty Miner or the Golden Knight.
Double small spell in duels with the Electro Spirit too. It's interesting how we can do that and still have strong other decks.
Indeed.
Can definitely make it work, but
Recruits connect on the left, but don't even out the damage. And a great push here. All he needs is
one NATO.
One NATO. Well played by
That is-
Syracuse.
Syracuse just comes back from that. It's at the deficit the whole game. Just gets a one good push with that Pekka bridge spam. Breaks
Honestly,
through.
don't think I've ever seen Pekka Bridgman win that matchup. But
Yeah,
that
it's
NATO.
quite a difficult matchup.
That NATO fireball really helps.
NATO definitely does. I've never seen it with Tornado before, but
Yeah.
being able to pull the things away when your battle ram gets onto tower is quite helpful.
Indeed. But it is probably more matchup dependent. Without that zap for Inferno Tower, it might struggle with other matchups.
Very true.
On the left here, Elkhorn Valley 2 versus EMF. Looks like we've got a Balloon Ebarb's Rage freeze against a pretty standard minor wall breaker spam. Both wall breakers connect, leaving that tower at 300. Does not catch that Magic Archer in time. That's going to be tower, evening out this game as we head into overtime in 30 seconds. Golden Knight dash gets a lot of value.
On the right, Winnebago versus Elkhorn Valley 1. Looks like Winnebago is going to be playing a minor deck. Elkhorn Valley playing Balloon.
Bats clean up the balloon, and they should get a hit if left alone. There we go. Mini Peck on the Dark Prince. Clean it up with Dark Goblin there. A miner to defend that Dark Goblin. And forces out a Skarmy. Nothing on that miner until bats come in late. Any miner with that.
On the left,
Wallbreaker connects again.
even after that defensive rage.
Wow. Great E-Barbs the pocket, catch that miner. Dash comes out a little early. And those Spear Goblins will stay alive. Bomb Tower takes care of the E-Barbs.
These wall breakers are going to connect if he doesn't do something.
Defensive.
Defensive freeze, you kind of have to. Running out of elixir here. And EMF just keeps spamming this, which is what they need to do. Just get a couple minor wall breaker hits.
Indeed.
Going into triple elixir.
But a good Golden Knight dash could turn the tide of this game. E-Barbs go behind,
Pulls
and that is the game.
That miner was amazing. It pulled the E-Barbs back behind so they couldn't defend against those wall breakers there. Really well played from EMF.
Miner Bats connects the tower. It's going to be a lot of damage. Takes the lead back for Winnebago. We'll see if we find a big spell. Balloon coming in with that miner. Great log. Bomb tower is too far to pull, but Bats may push it in. There's the freeze. Misses a bat, but Bat does not finish off the balloon with witch hit and death damage. That's tower. Great offense from Elkhorn Valley 1 here. Only 3 seconds left, and that looks like it's going to be the game. Elkhorn Valley and Winnebago heading into round 2. Elkhorn up 1. Looks like we may be seeing likely a splash yard with that baby dragon into some form of bridge spam with Elkhorn Valley.
It's Pekka bridge spam almost every single round. Somebody plays Pekka bridge spam.
Indeed.
It's interesting.
A stark contrast to the first day. Cannon. If this is Graveyard, it's certainly it still looks like Splash Yard, but it's rare to see it without the Tombstone.
It is. Interesting.
Valkyrie will tank for that baby dragon, but great P.E.K.K.A. and minions, but nothing no elixir left to defend that
There's the
graveyard. There's the zap.
Late
Well
zap.
timed.
Minion gets on tower.
With P.E.K.K.A. to tank, that's going to be a lot of damage. Could take back this lead. Indeed. Late arrows.
Did not need those arrows, but
Leaves him at 2 elixir to defend this bandit. Nothing to
Bandit
tank.
gets on tower. That's just exactly how you play P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam. You know he has no elixir, and you just go in, get a bunch of damage.
Those cards like that Batarang and that bandit, while they may seem easy to counter on their own, are just so cheap that with just a small elixir advantage can easily connect a tower.
Especially when your opponent makes a misplay. That's what's so good about this deck. That's why everyone's playing it.
Although they are playing a version with no big spell, opting to take those minions instead.
Which, against all the balloon that you've been seeing, could be quite helpful.
Indeed. Minions come down early, and Bandit comes down late at Baby Dragon
Bandit
next
still
tower.
dashes onto the tower there, through the
Wow.
giant.
But they may not have anything left for this graveyard. Ewis comes down. We're going to
Does have
likely
a
see
late zap here.
There's a zap. Left about even. Magic Archer is too far to connect the tower. Tornado does not splash with the Baby Dragon.
All going same lane here.
Arrows come down. Forces out skeletons because the Falcon starts to walk away. P.E.K.K.A. early does not want that tanking for a graveyard. We'll likely see some Magic Archer plays here, trying to get a little bit of geometry. That NATO just really doesn't let those minions get anything here. Magic Archer still missing the tower. And with one Baby Dragon hit, we'll likely see easy defense here. Still not wanting any tanks crossing that bridge there. Winnebago's leaking. Not quite sure what to place here. Struggling to build up a push here into this P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam player.
Both towers right at 600 health.
No big spell on the P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. This is going to make this matchup very difficult.
If he had the poison that it usually comes with.
That offensive P.E.K.K.A. leaves the giant hard to defend. Gets a hit on tower, pulling the lead for Winnebago. P.E.K.K.A. to block the Baby Dragon. Does not want any take with that graveyard still. Still manages to get trickle hits. Here comes the zap.
Looks
One
like
more
that's
hit, but that's a game. This is that cannon
barely
kite.
takes that. Elkhorn Valley won, taking that over Winnebago.
Amazing plays from both
Really
sides.
good right there. That was some really good bridge spam. I mean,
Yeah.
not letting, like spamming that P.E.K.K.A. to not let the Baby Dragon cross the bridge. It's played very well.
Indeed. Also difficult to spend that graveyard without that poison there.
Made it work though,
And it worked.
especially with that, the Electro Wizard and the zap.
And with the strong offense on P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, they didn't really need perfect defense every time. But what they really went for was that good counter push. Looks like we've got Minor Wall Breakers against a Hockey Q. And on the right, we have that X spell coming out again against another Minor Wall Breakers, this time with Prince. That Prince will help to tank for that Expo. Ice Spirit jumps onto the Archers, allowing that Prince to dash onto the Expo, leaving them even again. No damage to any towers. On this left side, Magic Archer does not cross the bridge, getting good value on that cannon, while Spirit Goblins get connects on the other side. Bomb Tower and Knight will defend that Mega Knight very well. Good Fireball takes out the Magic Archer and Bomb Tower, allowing this, forcing out another Bomb Tower. Let's see if they can cycle back to another Hog Rider soon enough. From the Skeletons, allows One Spear Goblin hit. Log Tesla will defend the Prince. Places of skeletons aren't quite needed, but cycles anyway. That Magic Archer Fireball will not reconnect on that Firecracker, keeping it alive. Here comes the Mega Knight, and likely we'll see a Hog opposite lane once
like
this tower is gone.
This Fireball for David City, too, is really good in this matchup against that Magic Archer.
Hog goes right past that building, forcing out a tornado. But just a really clean defense from David City 1 here.
David City 2 does have the big spell advantage over David City 1 right now.
Again, that Miner spam without Miner.
And on the right, Elkhorn Valley playing Expo like he always has been, I guess. Into, it's looking like the
A more Miner bridge spam,
might have Mega Knight.
possibly.
I don't know.
Let's see. This is the tower with the Fireball on the left.
Just wants to make sure to hit that Magic Archer,
Yeah.
though.
This Hog same lane. Misses the kite with the building.
Gonna
Force out a tornado. If it
Doesn't
does
have
come,
Elixir with the tornado, though.
and that's going to be a lot of Hog hits.
This Mega Knight on the right against this Expo is going to be incredibly useful.
Especially that
big
Prince
spell,
helps a
though.
lot too.
No big spell might hurt him because
We can't get
he
any
could
damage in before overtime.
he could just defensive Expo and he's just going to spam spells. Fireball's nothing on the left.
Arrows on those archers. Fireballs the archers. It's positive for Elkhorn. Night wall breakers.
David City
One wall
won,
breaker gets
protecting
past.
that Magic Archer.
Forces out that log. We've got another aggressive play. Spamming the bridge very effectively. Ghost goes invincible, but good skeleton surround. Takes care of that Royal Ghost, and archers will clean up the Miner. Well, I guess for Winnebago here, they're relying on that
Looks like we
Miner.
Looks like we get a tiebreaker. David City 2 wins that by 700 damage against David City 1.
Having
in
the
first
Fireball so
round,
helpful. And an early Expo connection.
at the beginning of overtime, right before triple elixir.
But it's
That might have just sealed the game.
just enough to find a lead.
If Elkhorn Valley can just keep defending here.
Winnebago's going to be relying on that Miner to be their big spell here. It's likely going to come down to catching that Miner with either Skeletons or Ice Spirit.
It's going to be some mind games.
Good predict arrows on the archers. Prince connects the
That's
tower.
a lot on tower.
Mega
That
Knight
Mega
jumps.
Knight splash.
Only splashes once though, with that Fireball there.
But that's Prince on tower.
Prince on tower and Ghost. That's likely
Ghost
going to be
being
gained.
tanked for.
Late Fireball,
It's 3 arrows. Maybe a minor hit.
or just a Ghost. Nope, Knight comes down in time. Let's see, log on those archers. They stay alive,
That's 1 hit. That's one
One hit.
arrows.
and that's the game.
And that's
Well played by Winnebago.
well played. Barely winning that. Barely beating that. That was such a close one. Expo was just defending for Elkhorn Valley.
Just
And
having that many ground tanks really helps.
just really rushing it. Just overwhelming him with the offense of the Mega Knight and the Prince. Just gets through.
On the left, we see a Fisherman too low allows RG to get a couple extra hits.
It's like it's an RG mirror
We're going to
matchup.
need to see a ability here. There we go. No building in time for this RG. Get some good connects.
RG mirror and David City 1 does not have a building. It's interesting. But he has the Fisherman and the Hunter.
Good defense on that skeleton barrel. All right. We see
No.
forced out a cannon because those wall breakers just do not die to that log.
Looks like Winnebago's going to be playing that Hog EQ.
Likely with
Archer Queen.
Archer Queen.
Probably. And then Elkhorn Valley is going to have that Miner control with Mighty Miner.
catches the miner with skeletons and a giant skeleton. Likely looking for a counter push here. We got some geometry with that firecracker, but only a couple hits.
Good push by David City 1 with that Royal Giant.
Out of just one log away. But if this Archer Queen can get through, that could be some good damage.
Barrel connection, but it's not going to do much with
Great
that
Dark
Prince
Prince
there.
the tank. Right in the center there. Leaking quite a bit.
Activates King Tower on the right. Well played by Winnebago.
If this push doesn't take tower, then that's likely going to be game. Again, that Fisherman low does not prevent RG hits there. Archer Queen ability comes in. But
We'll
the Dark
see if
Prince is down
David
in
City
time.
2 is going to go for a lightning block. Or it is just one log as well.
There's the
Just gets lightning on tower.
Good close game on the right.
And on the left too. It was head to head with that RG mirror matchup. It's 1-1 right now.
Minor Poison comes out early. But with that King Tower to help with that Minor, it's not as much damage as it could have
But
been.
that poison cycle is going to be helpful.
Cannon
The
plays
split
high.
lane. Giant Skeleton tanks for the Firecracker. That's
Great
a
hog
lot of
hits.
damage from that hog.
Wow.
It's a lot of damage. That's just 3 or 4 earthquakes.
This is Cannon early. Firecracker will not cross bridge.
Unfortunate
And
right
we'll
there.
Splashes the tower too.
He has a log here for this.
Minor's outside the poison, but gets caught anyway. And with
On the left, looks like David City 2 is going to be playing that Fireball bait deck with the recruits.
likely only 3 earthquakes, along with especially with the Ice Spirit.
And then David City 1 might be playing that P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam again. Which is a good matchup for David City 2, but you never know.
We
They
already
do have
saw
the
this
Fireball.
matchup go the other way. Wow.
That was an incredible Golden Knight dash.
Ewiz will go in front. Snowballs.
With the Snowball. Double small spell.
See 2 giant skeletons on the right screen here. 2 cannons to defend. But a Hog Rider
With
comes
that
in.
hog, with the
Earthquake. And looks like there's no other
Looks like
answer for
that's gonna
that.
be
That's
game
going to
right
be
there.
game.
Well played by Winnebago.
Great offense there.
Incredible push with those 2 giant skeletons and then that hog split lane. That was just almost impossible to defend, especially with that earthquake in there.
David City 2 with a definitely more conventional split lane deck. It's going to be much more difficult for David City 1 here with this P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. Pigs get pushed to get shot by the other tower, which helps with that defense, but still only at equal elixir and down a lot of damage. We'll likely see a recruits here with this push. See if they have arrows maybe. Triple small spell is not as common though. Maybe zappies. Leaks a lot of elixir. P.E.K.K.A. is getting through a little bit, but those recruits will stop it. There's the zappies. Ewiz to defend, along with a Firecracker. No big spell to take those out.
No big spell for David City, too.
Fireball comes down early.
Another amazing Golden Knight dash.
Ghost does not attack in time to get rid of that invincibility.
David City's 2's Golden Knight is just like crazy right now. He's just dashing all over the place.
Barbell comes down late. There's the pigs. Back to Fireball
We'll
though.
see if David City 2 can keep forcing David City 1 to use that Fireball in defense against those pigs and just keep defending.
Won't be able to get any damage.
Exactly. He'll just stay in the lead.
Well, this Firecracker will get some connects and might even take out that flying machine. Switches to the other side. Does not splash the flying
He
machine
has
again.
the split lane pigs here just for
And Ewiz
or
on
just
top will
all
take
one lane.
care of all of that. There's the Fireball. Great defense.
little recruits connection on the right.
Not enough to even out those towers. We'll need to see a block here. There we go. Places it extra high.
Doesn't want to get that dash again. Early Goblin Cage, just to not leak Elixir.
It's really difficult for this P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam to get damage at the end for when it's forced to use that spell defensively, especially without any Magic Archer to get that geometry.
Yeah, if David City 1 goes in for a offensive fireball on the tower, David City 2 can just pretty much instantly just go in with pigs.
Indeed. And with only ghosts and firecrackers to splash, it'll surely get plenty of damage.
The firecracker is kind of hopeful in this matchup, but not enough for it really to matter.
And with Tornado like that last Pekka Bridge fan we saw, they'll be able to get a bit more.
And that split lane pressure coming in from David City with the
Fireball
pigs
zap.
opposite lane is really good.
It looks like we might have a great power push here. Ewis goes behind.
Looks
Two
like we got
Pekkas.
double Pekka.
Firecracker will dodge that bar barrel. But with only 10 seconds left,
There's the
it's going to
offensive.
be hard to get a good lead, a good enough lead here.
He has recruits again. It's going to be hard for him to do much.
Can he get another fireball in time? No, he does not. Wins by
Well played by David City 2.
just under 200 health.
David City 1 almost
over.
got that.
Wow.
He was so close with that one. Barely pulled it out, though.
It's a great matchup to watch.
Really is.
Here we go, David City 1 versus David City 2. We've seen Cannon, Cart, and Princess. Here's a knight. Looks like a pretty traditional log bait so far. Cannon, Cart, and Firecracker. And E-Barbs come out. Interesting deck. There's a zap. E-Barb will get a hit if it lets it go, but the barbell comes in and cleans up. No damage to either tower.
Looks like David City's going to have a faster cycle log bait deck here. It's more of a just higher cost units and then a couple cycle cards.
Opts for that fireball instead of the rocket here. Let's see if they have another bait card here. There's the Goblin Barrel. Let's see if they have.
Golden Knight dash gets on tower
Knight
here.
comes down late.
Really good Golden Knight.
Barbell goes down. Just the fireball. Forced to E-Barbs on that Knight.
We'll see if David City 1 has anything for those E-Barbs.
There's Goblin Gang and Skeletons. Not something you see every day. In fact, we will still see those Skeletons again. With a Rage. Wow. Knight last
Knight
second.
barely comes down there.
Great defense. And without a good enough small spell to kill goblins, we're going to see likely a lot of damage, a lot of chip damage from David City 1 here.
David City 1 can just get those Goblin Barrels on the tower with the tank. It's going to have to force out a lot of elixir from David City 2.
Indeed. And with some good princesses at the bridge, it's going to be difficult for David City 2 to build up a good push.
Just like right there.
That Firecracker does help. I'd like to see a King Tower activation here. That's the Inferno Tower
Fireball.
high. Fireball.
Misses the Firecracker.
Wow.
Good dash block right there.
A great Knight play indeed. Spirit Goblins will help clean up that Cannon Cart. Guards come down as well. Good Princess low. There we go. And we'll likely see an Inferno Tower. Still going for that high outside there.
Does seem to be working though.
Trying to avoid that zap damage on tower, looks like. More rage damage as well.
Fireball on the Firecracker.
There we go.
Is there a Goblin Barrel coming down here?
Probably going for that Golden
Not
Knight
gonna
block
be.
here.
Good.
Good bar barrel. Kite back.
Looks like he put guards opposite lane, potentially to block for the Inferno Dragon tower.
Yeah. Inferno Tower a bit high there. Cannon Cart doesn't cross, but places bats into it anyway.
Goblins still get hit even after the 5 licks are spent.
There's that knight to kite the golden knight. Skeletons to help kill it faster.
And David City is already back to that goblin barrel.
There's that princess and the goblin barrel.
That fast cycle is just incredibly helpful in this situation.
It is pretty much a traditional log bait, just with skeletons instead of a spirit. And that fireball really helps, though, with the cycle and with that firecracker, too.
It really does, because if you're running rocket, it's not worth rocketing a firecracker.
Although sometimes
We'll
it
see
can be
right
helpful
here,
to
though.
rocket those E-barbs, which
E-barbs
connect
get
the
on
tower
tower,
with that
though.
rage.
David City, too, barely stealing that.
Just failed to get that king tower activation.
That's what it is with some of those E-barb rage and golden knight decks.
One
you can
push
be
can take it away.
behind the whole game, and then you just come back just like that and steal the win. It's really good for David City, too.
With all these Inferno tower placements going outside and high, likely afraid of that golden knight dash, never gets that firecracker king tower. Looks like we're seeing Pega Witchbram, this time with poison, like
You
typically
usually see.
Yeah,
N2A, potentially minor control or
or a hog earthquake.
yeah. Either one isn't really ideal into this deck.
Indeed.
Good minor lane switch, though. Forces out a battle ram, but does not.
Night Spirit just in time to stop that dash, but barb hits are going to be a
Barbs
lot
get
of
a
damage.
lot of damage. That's 1,000 damage on the David City's tower.
Hog Rider with that Mighty Miner.
Just a block for it. Keep that 3-card cycle up. Switching lanes.
Interesting play there. There we go. We've got that bomb tower to defend both lanes. May see that Pekka sometime soon. Likely Magic Archer, that last card. But maybe the minions again. You never know.
Magic Archer definitely would be more helpful in this situation. But
Indeed.
good log there to stop the charge.
Goblins to stop that E was there.
Really clean defenses from David City 1.
We've got that Mighty Miner on the ghost. There we go.
He can just get a couple of hogs through. And then, depending on what spell he has, probably Earthquake. Most likely anyways.
If he did have Fireball, though, that would certainly help. Double Elixir. Nothing much has happened. There's the poison cycle coming out. Still hog the center. I guess it's no building. There's no reason to hog outside. Pick up full counters. There's the Magic Archer.
Yeah, that's the issue with running hog into Pekka. It's going to be hard to get a breakthrough. It's just going to have to try to outcycle it, but... See lane switch here?
No, he does not.
Huh.
Said more worried about that.
That was actually a pretty good defense, though.
Indeed, but still allows that poison on tower and doesn't get any elixir advantage.
That poison cycle's really good. Should have started Earthquaking maybe a bit earlier. Because he's already starting poison
Ram
before.
Not enough elixir for Pekka in time. Hog gets one hit. Not enough to get that lead. And likely with Earthquake, if we haven't seen a Fireball yet, it's going to be difficult for him to make up that damage, especially against poison.
Quite true. He's going to need a couple hog hits to get through. Yeah, probably needs to start Earthquake cycling and just getting cards down. If he just keeps playing defense, he's going to end up just losing because he doesn't have enough damage.
Misses the bomb tower. Barb connects, and that might be the end of it.
That's just 2 poisons, I think.
Maybe a Magic Archer hit.
Pekka at the bridge predicted that. It's going to be really hard for David City 1 to come back here.
If he can find a Magic Archer connect, then that might be the game with just an arrows. But we're likely to see another poison here.
Yeah, just needs 1 poison at this point.
Pushes that hog, interestingly. Log knocks back the Ewis to stun it, but it is too late. And the poison
And
comes
there
out.
we go. And that is David City 2. 2-0 against David City 1. Really close games between both of them. All went down into overtime. Mostly spell cycling. Shows just how important having a good spell is.
Indeed.
On the right, we have Winnebago versus Elkhorn Valley. It's like Winnebago is playing that hog fireball bait with the cannon cart into goblin barrel wall breakers.
Mega Knight to defend. Comes down a little early and misses some hogs. Those zappies do not cross. One of them does. It's a little bit more value on that Mega Knight. Yeah, that Mega Knight Firecracker is going to be getting a lot of value here on these defenses. And without arrows in cycle, using it very aggressively, it's going to be a lot of damage there.
On the left side, we have Stanton versus Syracuse.
Offensive
like-
arrows again.
It's like Syracuse is going to be playing a Mega Knight Wallbreaker Miner deck with a bit of bait into the Fireball bait deck. I feel like we've seen that a lot today.
Yeah.
The more
Interesting.
traditional variation this time.
A lot of P.E.K.K.A. Richmond and Fireball bait. Here come pigs all in the same lane. Only goblins to defend. That is not
Mega
going to be
Knight
enough.
does help against this deck, but when you just get out-cycled like that, there's not much you can do. It's a lot of damage for Stanton.
Indeed. Especially when your deck relies on Mega Knight for offense. It's really difficult to get damage. Fireball comes down. Good timing, hits that miner and the wall breakers.
Syracuse trying to get a good push in here.
Pigs split 3 and 1. Goblins on the side with only 1.
Good
And that Golden Knight gets crazy damage there. Up by 4 elixirs.
see.
Stanton goes zappies the back, same lane.
Syracuse still has 1 card unplayed.
No big spell
Could
shown.
be a big spell.
Could be. Likely not Fireball, or else those zappies would have been gone.
Definitely not Fireball. But a Lightning could maybe turn the tide. Probably not
could.
gonna play Lightning, but
Lightning likely wouldn't happen though until that tower is down to like 200 or so.
it's gonna be hard to tell here. Gonna need to start just getting some good defenses in.
Flying Machine
That
connects
fire-
the tower.
yeah.
Mega Knight comes down late.
Oh,
Zaps to
zap.
retarget though. That's only 2 fireballs, maybe a zap. And Hogs
Already used Mega
will
Knight.
connect.
Gonna be quite difficult for.
Great fireball value.
That's just 1 Fireball here. Stanton just needs to defend 1 more and Fireball again.
And the recruits
Really good offense from Stanton.
can't push into that recruits there. Just the next fireball they get will be the game.
And Stanton's defense against this deck too, with the Mega Knight and without having the Mighty Miner variation, it's very good. And on the right side, looks like Winnebago is going to be playing Hog Rider.
Into that interesting split lane again. No recruits, opting for Musketeer and Flying Machine. Plays those hogs into the Valkyrie. Doesn't get any damage. He's behind on Elixir. Firecracker to help with that Flying Machine. Fireball immediately comes out.
Winnebago.
That's the tower.
Winnebago just has to defend for 40 more seconds.
Does a great job taking care of that Elixir advantage there, getting all the damage they need.
Looks like Stanton's going to have Mega Knight for
Miner
that.
on that building there. Cannon.
Yeah, and Syracuse is going to be running that Royal Pig cycle.
Got that classic Mega Knight Miner bait.
Stanton gets that good connection.
Ice Spirit comes down late, misses
Still
2
doesn't
bats.
kill those bats. That's a lot of damage for Stanton there. That's a really good push.
Indeed. You see those Zappies all same lane again against that delivery and that Valkyrie and even the Firecracker too. Winnebago just has so many answers here.
Looks like Bago's going to tie it up 1-1.
Looks like that Archer Queen Hog Cycle. Pretty classic deck. Dragon Knight comes down on the Archer Queen just before the ability. Jumps onto that cannon. There's a delivery. Ice Spirit. But no answer for those bats, it appears. Late Archer Queen. That's still tower.
That's tower for Stanton. Some really good offense there.
Looks like on the right we have 2 log bait decks. That's the first time we've seen the Rascals here today. Saw a lot of that actually in Division 2. It's a Poison and Earthquake. There's got to be a Hog Rider or something from Elkhorn Valley. I don't see why else you'd run that Earthquake. I guess there's a little bit of synergy with that Miner. It's off like a budget Poison.
Well, I don't think, yeah, it almost has to be. Probably is Hog. I mean, it's tough to know though.
Yeah.
Looks like Winnebago's running Ram Rider though.
I'm on Bridge Spam.
Oh, not Hog. It's a Bomb Tower.
An interesting deck.
Some really good offense from Syracuse here.
I was looking for those bait
Stanton
cards.
not letting Syracuse build up a big push.
Winnebago here with their Ram Rider and their
Stanton beating Syracuse 2-0.
Ram Rider and the Mighty Miner. Likely those bait cards here just to bait out that reset tool. Whether it be that log knockback or a zap. Getting that value with the Ram Rider dash.
That Princess splashes onto those Rascals on the right.
Snowballs that Dark Goblin in, but it still takes out the Baby Dragon. Goblins clean up the Rascal Boy. Winnebago with a good damage lead. This Ram Rider will likely see that building here. Immediately poisons. Gets a little bit of value. And good tower damage too. So Earthquake, but no win condition that really synergizes. Just going for that Earthquake cycle, I guess. Must have poison in a different deck. It looks like that Earthquake is not going to be finding the value he wants here. Really needing that poison here. Rascal Girl just tanked for by that Rascal Boy. Gets a lot of value here. Bats may connect, but places Rascal to defend.
Looks like Winnebago is just going to need 1 poison on that tower.
Dark Goblin and Rascal Girls turn around for that Miner. Only gets 2 hits. Ram Rider jumps across. Dark Goblin and Rascal Girls take care of those, and there we go.
The game. Winnebago winning 2-1.
Very clean game by Winnebago. Looks like we will be possibly seeing them in this championship match.
Yes, it'll be Stanton versus
Winnebago. There we go.
Yes, in the Nebraska State Esports District 3 final.
We're live.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay, on the left, we're going to have Elkhorn Valley 1 versus EMF. And on the right will be David City 2 versus Syracuse.
Winners will go on to play for 3rd place, and losers will go on to play for 5th. Goblin Barrel first play, defended by a Bomber. 3 Goblin hits. Likely a log bait into. We've seen a lot of things with Bomber. Not really sure what it is yet.
Bomber and
Valkyrie.
Knight. That Valkyrie takes care of it all.
Looks like
Interesting deck.
maybe one of those drill bridge spams we've seen, but we haven't seen much drill yet, so probably not.
Good bandit connection right there.
Here's another log bay again with those wall breakers.
Looks like it's a
Weird
Goblin
bridge
barrel.
spam bait thing. All right. On the right side, we have Goblin Giant Sparky with Earthquake.
You know, Sparky and like, oh, that zap
That
just
zap
saved him
just
right
saved
there.
him. Wow. That
Having-
Earthquake.
Having that Goblin Giant, just like, it makes it so if your opponent overextends ever, a Goblin Giant, just like even the Spear Goblins connecting on tower, does so much damage.
Indeed.
So David City too has to play so carefully here, just to not push too much and just like not even try to tower trade because it'll just be a 3-crown with this deck.
Mm-hmm. And with that Earthquake, an interesting choice instead of typically something like a Fireball or a Zap. Likely not trying to go against things that aren't that Inferno Tower. Is any other building that's great an answer to.
Yeah.
Likely going to see that Rage here, maybe not. Let
Goblin
those
Barrel
bats
on
go.
the left from Elkhorn Valley. It's picked up by the log.
But with half a Skarmy, along with that Firecracker to counter push, countered by that Bomber E-Wiz.
Really clean defense from BMF.
That Valk comes
EMF,
in.
yeah.
And along with that Bomber, that Valk is almost dead. Speedy Balloon comes in once again
Keeps
with the
placing
Skeleton Barrel
Speedy
in
Balloon
front.
backwards. Starting to wonder if that's intentional now.
Yeah. Maybe. But there's the Rage Goblin Giant, and that is going to be tower.
And I'm like, that's what I'm saying. If you get that Goblin Giant on your tower, it's just such a good offense, and it's so hard to defend.
And it's so fast, too, at getting all that damage.
Like
Just
that
like you
Goblin
said.
Giant is just shredding,
It's maybe a 3-crown right here.
and it is.
And the Sparky
Look at
comes
that.
in to finish it off.
From
There we go.
Syracuse right there. Incredible push from him. Incredible use of that deck.
Mega Knight on that Mega Knight. But with an Inferno Dragon to back it up, this
Gonna
could
have
be
to-
making something here.
I have an Electro Wizard here, but might not.
Along with that Knight. Lots of Inferno Dragon value here. Skarmy opposite lane, trying to bait out that E-Wiz. Or that Log.
Uses log on the Skarmy opposite lane.
And that Inferno Dragon locks on tower.
Really good push from Elkhorn Valley.
Great job baiting. Wall breakers don't quite connect, but Firecracker
that-
still gets more damage.
It's a really good push from Elkhorn Valley.
But keep getting those Firecracker hits.
And on the
it's only gonna be a couple
right-
logs.
Syracuse just got a P.E.K.K.A on David City. It's like it's going to be an interesting bridge spam deck.
There's
You do
that
a
log.
P.E.K.K.A bridge spam.
That Goblin Barrel's guaranteed damage here. Only 120 health. That should only be 1, 2, or there we
The
go.
Firecracker
takes it.
splash. Well played from Elkhorn Valley.
There's that
Interesting
Battle
push
Ram
from
and
David City.
Ram Rider both connect. That Ram Rider slowdown on the P.E.K.K.A, allowing those barbs to keep getting hits. Down to 640 health.
Really good push there.
P.E.K.K.A across the bridge with a Battle Ram of its own. There's the Archers. Are we going to see a Fireball here?
There's that
There's a
tornado we
tornado.
saw earlier.
Great. Tornado just has such good synergy with that Battle Ram there. Seeing just back and forth damage. Neither side able to defend the pushes here
And
on this right side.
On the left, it looks like EMF is going to be playing a minor deck. And then Elkhorn Valley is going to be playing that Hogs with the Cannon Cart deck again.
Ram Rider the bridge to block that. But the Magic Archer does not cross. Allowing an easy defense on that Ram Rider. So Fisherman. Good timing with that Miner. Very offensive. Spamming the bridge here. David City too. That Tornado.
Good tornado
Good
there.
team clean up there.
Really good defense from Syracuse.
David City 2 up enough on Elixir to get that poison off. Good snowball.
That's really good snowball. Stops that bandit from taking that tower. Gives
Hopefully they
Syracuse just
understand
a bit more time.
that they do have to take that tower, and they cannot defend that one forever. But the longer they do defend that left side, the more likely they are to force Syracuse to zap nothing or fireball nothing.
Which overextending sometimes can be good for you.
There's that batter rim connected. Nothing on those barbs. Trying too hard to defend that tower with only 70 health. Poisons nothing. Wow.
Yeah, I really needed that tower. We're going to have to see if David City 2 can get a good push in here.
It's going to take a pretty big play
There's
to
that
come back
9
from
elixir
this.
push right there to see if that.
Zap, maybe not quite necessary.
When you get into overtime with that double and triple elixir with P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam, your defense is just so good. It's so hard to break through.
It's going to be difficult for those building up at the bridge pushes to get any value.
Really good push from Elkhorn Valley on the
Tornado brings those barbs into the P.E.K.K.A. And just one Magic Archer hit, and that's the game. Great plays by Syracuse.
Elkhorn Valley takes a tower on the left against EMF.
With only Valkyrie to really splash, there isn't much that they can really do against the split lane here. Valkyrie does not go to the pigs, instead goes for that Muskie, allowing pigs to get a lot of damage on that King Tower. Bats take out the flying machine. Hog Rider into Zappies. Likely won't get much damage, especially with that fireball. That cleans up, and that's the game. 2-0. Elkhorn Valley takes that first set. Seen that Dark Prince again. Seen a lot of that. A lot of it without really any sort of beatdown to go with it, like you typically see.
It's usually in bridge spam nowadays.
Yeah. Sometimes even in those log bait decks, instead of like a Valkyrie. You see a lot less Goblin Giant with it.
On the left, we have Elkhorn Valley versus EMF again. I wonder if Elkhorn Valley is going to be starting. Doesn't look like he's going to be starting with that Expo again. EMF does start with the
E-Barb's freeze on that P.E.K.K.A. Kills the P.E.K.K.A. along with a
See
good
if he
push.
has a rage here.
But ignores that ghost. And with that zap, that may not even be, that just evens
Good
out the
trade,
damage.
though.
Only up by 5. Misses fireball on the tower on the right here. Mother Witch comes in, but does not lock on to that firecracker. But Goblin Giant sneaks past.
There's that Goblin Giant on the tower. That's a lot of damage for Syracuse.
Luckily for David City 2 there, the Mega Knight was tanking for those Spear Goblins there.
Looks like EMF is going to be playing some incredibly
Interesting E-Giant here.
high elixir deck, as it does look. Into
the game, a minute and 10 seconds. Only played 5 cards, 5 different cards. Only just shown that 5th one actually.
playing, this is quite an interesting deck because normally, if you look, you can see like a couple lower elixir cards. All these are like the hard, heavy hitter.
Yet to show anything below 4.
It's interesting,
Only 2
especially
cards
going
left.
into a P.E.K.K.A.
There's the Witch, another 5 elixir card. Gonna be very difficult to find enough answers to any sort of small offense that P.E.K.K.A. Ridge Spam is so good at with that Bandit and that Ram Rider.
Yeah, if he can just keep, Elkhorn Valley can just keep bridge spamming.
There's that
And-
zap, that first card below 4 elixir.
But if EMF can get into the double or triple elixir, like late game, he's going to be really good. Just spamming all of his cards.
Indeed.
And with the split lane push, you can't P.E.K.K.A. both.
Wow.
And with no building, Tornado would be really nice here, but
Yeah.
maybe a freeze.
No big spell either, which isn't great going into those high cards. And that zap won't really give him much, other than maybe the Witch Skeletons. Pushing all same lane in those high elixir cards also isn't typically the best answer. Mega Knight comes down, cleans up. But that Magic Archer E-Wiz just completely destroys it. But with Magic Archer and E-Wiz both gone, only minions are left to defend. A good zap may be able to get something here. Looks like only possibly death damage, maybe not. There's a death damage, only 400 left.
Let's see if he has a Mega Knight here. Doesn't quite have
10
Mega Knight in
elixir.
cycle.
There's
That
the defensive freeze, but the geometry from the Magic
Archer.
Archer No big spell still, so that's going to be just about his only way to get damage going into overtime.
See if EMF can get anything done here.
That balloon death damage is going to be really dangerous. Really want to save those air defense, especially if EMF lands a freeze on those minions. There might just be nothing that Elkhorn can do. Leaks back that elixir advantage. There's the E-Giant at the bridge. Going to need a P.E.K.K.A. and something else. That will still get a couple hits. There's a balloon there.
Has to defend.
Going for that power trade. E-Giant is not fast enough.
Doesn't quite have enough elixir to defend that.
Wow.
Well played by Elkhorn Valley there on that defense and seeing when he needed to go in on that deck.
It's like this right side is really close. Hog Rider doing some great defense here. Takes out those minions with that delivery and cannon right in the middle, though.
Looks
still
like
Mega Knight's enough to take it out.
Very close game between Syracuse and David City, too.
There's the fireball coming out. Misses the firecracker. Gonna get some value on this knight here. Predict fireball there.
Both players having fireball.
Good Dark Prince to stop that firecracker, but gets about ahead by 500.
Here's that Goblin Giant heading towards the tower.
There's that cannon again. Predict fireball, but it comes in too late. No hits. There's that Hog Rider again, followed with another fireball.
Syracuse not having a building against this Hog Rider.
Taking out those minions and knocking back that mini P.E.K.K.A. Takes it down to 60 health. One more fireball or just one?
Looks like David
splash.
City's going to get this game. David City gets round 1 there.
Great plays with that fireball knockback with the Hog Rider.
These have been some really close games right here.
Here's that Expo again, along with the Miner Spam. We'll see if they actually have Miner this time.
Yeah.
It might help, but even then they won't have a big spell if they do.
The winners of these games, again, are going to go up and fight for 3rd place. The losers will fight for 5th.
Great defense on that Expo. See if they can punish that at all. But they're down on Elixir. Knight in the back, likely looking for an Expo in the opposite lane. Doesn't catch the Miners or Skeletons, but they still DPS it down a little. And now looks like they will be back to Expo. Maybe one more card. There's a Knight. Trying to find that Elixir advantage before they go in.
Amherst versus Winnebago for 3rd place.
Really going for that early Magic Archer.
Get
Great
a couple
plays.
hits there.
Gonna need that damage in single Elixir to win this matchup. But with both the Bomb Tower and the Knight and even the Miner, once we get into double Elixir, it's gonna be difficult for Expo to break through unless he finds a good Elixir advantage.
On the right side, it's looking like we're having the Royal Pig cycle with
Against a good splash yard here.
It's gonna be hard to find any damage.
No tombstone with those to defend those pigs. Queen is dead, and that's a good
Earthquake
500
and Queen are
damage.
going to be so helpful in defending those graveyards.
That Knight played at the bridge. Gets shot by that Tesla. May not have been the play there.
He really wants to block this here. He can't let that Expo get on his tower early.
No big spell. Gonna need a log or something. There's the Miner.
It gets on.
But
Already
there's another
back to
Expo.
Another Expo.
Gonna have Bomb Tower soon. Nothing to tank for that Magic Archer. It will die. There's the good Bomb Tower to snipe that. There's the Fireball to take it out, but looks like only no Expo shots at all. Takes a 300 damage lead over
Elkhorn
EMF.
Valley really good with timing on when to place those Expos.
Indeed. This is that Miner shot by the Tesla. No Spear Goblin hits. Gonna need a Knight or something in front of that. There's the Bomb Tower and the Knight. Really
good defense from
overcommitting
EMF there. That Fireball though gets that Expo. Expo is just a bit too far back.
2 tiles back. That's very unfortunate. Still goes for the log actually.
Still wanted that finished off.
Indeed.
It's gonna be hard for EMF to break through.
Places
with
the Expo on top of those wall breakers.
Still a bit too far back.
Their Magic Archer Tornado gets some good damage.
Wait,
but the Expo will connect if they don't place a tank down soon.
That's
too far back again.
Too far back.
Oh my goodness.
It needs to be.
Twice.
I think he's doing that on purpose.
Possibly.
Trying to get the defensive Expo. This is really good for EMF here. He got a lot of damage. If he can just finish that off with
if he can get a good Magic Archer Tornado here. Here comes in the graveyard without a tank on the right side. With that delivery and the Queen, it's not going to get in very much damage at all.
Doesn't even have to waste Earthquake there.
We're going to see a Knight here. There it is. A little close to that. Gets hit by the other Knight. There's the fireball to kill the Spear Goblins. Magic Archer comes down just in time. Takes out the Expo.
Still gonna
but
get
it's
a
going to be
couple
back.
hits.
Good couple hits. Bomb Tower into the Tesla. Missing a tank now. Goes for that offensive miner. Nope. Knight comes in late into the Tesla once again. But Wall Breaker gets to connect on the Expo. We're going to need another tank here. Here's a Magic Archer. Great fireball on offense there. Gets the log there. Needs to catch that miner. Good tornado. And that is going to be the game.
That is going to be well played by EMF.
Great defense
there.
by EMF. Wow.
Very well played there.
Still going in for that graveyard on the right
that
here.
That Magic Archer tornado was such a good play.
Must be graveyard freeze. He's not placing tanks with that graveyard.
He still has a card hidden, so it definitely could be.
But struggling to find that defense, even with the Ice Wiz tornado. Here comes another Pigs and the Earthquake early.
Looks like
There's
Syracuse
the Ice
is going to take this one.
But looks like that is game.
Tying it up 1-1. Just needs one log, yeah.
There we go. On the left here, looks like another miner deck. Into Cannon Cart with Goblin Gang and Snowball. Could be, there's a Tesla. Still could be anything, really. I've seen a lot of Cannon Cart with those Pigs. But it could be finding some sort of log bait, too. There's those Goblins. Nice.
Looking like a fast cycle deck here.
Yeah. Something he really wants to cycle. There's Mortar.
Looks like it's a Mortar.
Let's see if that last card, maybe a Miner, maybe a Poison, some other big spell.
Interesting.
On the right side, Mega Knight comes down to defend the Pigs.
He already used Miner last deck, so it's not going to be...
It's likely going to be a Poison then.
Something like that. That would probably be the best.
Great switch lanes. Good defense on that Mortar there.
Yeah, that's a really good defense from Elkhorn Valley.
Right side, not much damage from anyone.
Looks like David City 2 is going to be playing that same hog split lane deck.
Barbell does not finish off those wall breakers.
Syracuse, though, playing that Mega Knight bait deck. This is going to be pretty good for Syracuse with that Mega Knight.
With that early damage there, if they have a big spell, and especially with the Miner cycle, if they can save that Mega Knight on defense, they should have a good matchup here.
Probably going to end up having Zap and Musketeer or something like that, but...
Yeah.
It's like EMF is placing Mortar like it is a Tesla.
Great firecracker there. That's an Expo, yeah.
With the Tesla is interesting.
Budget Expo. Here we go.
Could have just used Expo, but...
Yeah. On the Mega Knight on offense. Wall breakers connect again. That is going to be tower. There's only 1 minute left.
David City just has to try to get a tower, but it's going to be hard when you're going into that Mega Knight.
Indeed.
David City's defense here is just like, they can't do much. That Mega Knight just jumps on everything. He's getting desperate here with that flying machine at the bridge.
He's going to come. E-Wiz doesn't reset that dash there. Tesla tick cleans up.
Syracuse just trying to defend all this. Has easy Mega Knights on those pigs. Still misses one, though. It's going to be a bit of damage for David City.
EMF struggling to find damage here. Just having those 3 tanks there from Elkhorn Valley is making that Mortar really difficult to find damage with. We're going to see some fireball cycling.
Has the fireball, but when Elkhorn Valley has poison and arrows.
Indeed. And without that miner, that Mortar just doesn't get much. It's hard to get value without.
It's really, really difficult.
Mortar really needs that
like
secondary win
Syracuse
condition.
On the right is going to take that over David City. 2-1. That is a Mortar on tower, though.
This could be huge.
Let's see if he can defend this Mortar for a little bit.
But there comes the arrows and only gets 1 more hit. Still makes the game rather close. There's the defensive Mortar. Interesting snowball. Wallbreakers still both connect. And the shot is tanked by that cannon.
There. Switches lanes.
Ice Spirit dies to the goblins, and they get several hits each.
This poison is just... EMF has to get a really big connection here. Otherwise, Elkhorn Valley can just keep spell cycling.
This arrow's coming again. Snowball just desperately trying to take care of that cannon.
EMF knows that he needs something big here.
This
He
is
needs
the
a big
firecracker
breakthrough.
with the fireball.
Doesn't look like it's going to come.
Nothing to catch that miner. Goblin Gang into the poison, along with an arrow, is going to be a lot of damage. One more miner poison, most likely. Depends on if he can catch it.
EMF needs one good mortar connection. I don't think he's going to get it in the next 10 seconds, though. Elkhorn Valley's defense is just too good.
Maybe one more mortar hit, but I don't think it'll be enough. Nope. Cannon cart gets stuck behind another cannon cart.
Elkhorn Valley with
game.
just such clean defenses, and then the transition into offense from the defense is just so good.
Indeed. There's some good poisons as well. Goblin Giant Rage. Like with the Sparky again. Got that Mother Witch as well. Gets a good amount of damage. Only down 2 elixir here. Into this E-Barbs spam. Cycling cards in the back here.
Looks like Syracuse. That Goblin Giant Sparky, probably, and then
With that defensive Sparky. Anything to block that Golden Knight, and this should be a clean defense. Good zap.
looks like we might have 2 bait decks on the left between Elkhorn Valley and EMF.
Indeed. Looks like a more traditional log bait into this minor wall breaker bait.
Be some interesting matchups with these fast cycle decks.
On the right, we've got another big push coming in. Guards take out that Sparky, but Goblin Giant still gets a stab on tower. And Mother Witch will make 2 more pigs here. Knight comes on, but a Golden Knight dash will likely take out that Mother Witch. Does not dash. We're going to likely see another zap here.
Gets that 1 pig in, which really helps with that defense.
Indeed. It's that mini packet of tank.
On the left, EMF gets clean Goblin Barrel on the tower with that mirror.
Mini P.E.K.K.A hit in that rage. Wow. From the guards. Another, just a great answer for that Sparky with those shields.
Really good offense by EMF here. Knowing that his opponent is low on elixir and out of cycle, goes in for 2 Goblin Barrels on the tower.
Opts not for the King Tower activation there.
Really good push from David City, too.
Says they'd rather have a tank with their Goblin Barrel. And they may be very well right. That's a lot of damage there. Elkhorn Valley not showing a small spell.
Really good offenses from EMF here. They just keep making it so Elkhorn Valley doesn't have the spells they need in cycle to deal with their buildings and just all their Goblin Barrels.
David City, too, finds a way, despite their troubles early in the match. Takes the first game. Now it looks like we've got
That's when
Mega
you're
Knight
using
Drill.
decks like that, like those E-Barbs Rage decks. You just get 1 good push and you can just change the whole battle.
Indeed.
Looks like David City 2 is going to be playing P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam into Syracuse's Mega Knight Drill. And it's just very good. Wondering if we'll see a mirror here. No.
A lot of leaking from EMF here.
It's just
Fireball
wanting to
misses the
wait
Princess, but that wall breaker does connect. Are we going to see a rocket here? A rocket, mere rocket, would take that tower. It does not appear they have that rocket.
Might just be trying to wait till overtime, so he for sure gets that defense off.
Knight comes in late.
That's 2 fireballs, though. He doesn't want to give up too much damage.
There comes the
that
rocket, mere rocket. And
still wants to keep
still
that
going to go for that
defense up,
rocket
though.
there. With that miner there, there's the rocket. Will it come down in time? It does. A
And it
great
will.
match there.
Really good offense by EMF. And defense, too. Just making it so Elkhorn Valley can't get too much value off of anything.
Just using that mirror to find whatever hole is in the other deck and to just turn that hole into a crater.
And on the right, Syracuse gets a really big Mega Knight connection.
Along
Both
with
of
the bat
David
hits.
City's towers are really low right now.
You see Balloon first play, defended by an E-Wiz. That's still going to be death damage.
I think we're going to see Another Pekka bridge spam.
Indeed.
Interesting log.
Like a good opportunity
Oh, maybe.
There's
never mind,
Lumberloon. Wow.
Lumberloon.
Opts not for the King Tower activation. Instead goes for that offense there. Looks like there's no answer for the Mega Knight. With no elixir, goes in for that Skeleton King behind. Freeze.
Mega Knight freeze.
Looks like we've
with
got a tower
balloon.
trade here.
Maybe. Yeah.
But there's a
With the
tornado.
tornado.
Saves
keeps his
that tower.
alive.
But down a good 3 elixir.
EMF having some pretty good plays here.
Right
And
here, a good close game.
Syracuse.
All towers fairly low. But with
That-
only 30 seconds left, that poison will take. And if
That drill was not needed there. I
That's
wonder if
David
that's going to
City.
come back to bite him in the back.
possibly with 20 seconds left, can David City find a good enough offense? There's wall breakers. Just one more
That might
hit.
be both towers. One arrows and that's both towers.
Wow. Or the Goblin Drill started there. There we go.
Looks like that's going to be
Great game by Syracuse.
tying it up 1-1 for Syracuse and David City too.
EMF and Elkhorn pretty similar on elixir here. Both with their
playing
balloon.
balloon. Wondering if we're going to get some sort of tower base race here.
We're going to see a tornado there. Goes for a defensive freeze.
Misses
Bats
the
take care of
Lumberjack.
that. Lumberjack gets a lot of damage though.
It's like the
Defensive poison. That's likely still going to be tower. Maybe not. Not quite. But that is still a couple logs or freezes.
Doesn't look like Elkhorn Valley has a good spell that will be able to take that tower though.
Going for those log cycles early with only a minute left here. Mini Pekka does not take out the Firecracker with a good stun from the E-Wiz. And a
Looks
balloon
like
in pocket to
balloon in the
tank.
pocket. Really good plays from EMF here.
But there's that Bats
That
clean up.
defense from Elkhorn Valley is really good.
Defensive Lumberjack. Only
Defensive
poison for
again.
that balloon. But if we can use that tornado, pull things back into that poison, it should mostly be fine.
Misses the
Misses
balloon.
the balloon with a tornado, and that is
No,
going to
that
be
is-
2 hits.
That is
Plus
unfortunate.
a lot of witch damage.
The flying cards always, their hitboxes are different than what they look like.
Indeed. Log takes the right tower, and we go into overtime with Elkhorn Valley up by good 500 or more damage.
Looks like right side's going to have a graveyard mirror matchup.
Great Mighty Miner bomb there. Very different versions of this same
Left side
similar
has
deck.
freeze.
Good tornado, but
It's
is
the
it
tornado.
enough? If anything,
Still going to get one hit here.
with that King Tower though, and the E
No,
was
it doesn't.
stunned, it's only death damage. Great defense.
Really good defenses coming in from everyone here.
E-Wiz, even with the rage, perfectly timed Mega Knight comes down and stops it from getting that hit. Balloon in pocket gets that death damage every single time, with no ability shown from Elkhorn.
If EMF can make it 2 triple elixir, he can just poison
Bats connect the
cycle,
tower.
but
That freeze is likely going to come very soon. We're going to need a tornado here.
It's gonna hit.
Tornado comes in late. That's a balloon
That's
hit
just
and
one
death damage.
log.
That is game.
Looks like it's tying up 1-1 between Elkhorn Valley and EMF.
Very interesting over here. Only one sort of big spell between the 2 graveyard decks, and it's only Earthquake, which is, again, that budget poison. Likely needed it in a different deck.
Earthquake, though, still is good on defense against that graveyard.
And will still cycle that tower very well. I believe that may only be 2 Earthquakes, maybe a tornado.
I think it's just, it does like 150.
It does around
2,
150.
I think, or something like
I
that.
played that card. I should know.
They make you do a math problem to find out how much damage it does.
Yeah.
It does 3 seconds of 54 damage.
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty. So just 2 Earthquakes. But likely we're going to
Going
get
in
a
with
couple.
that graveyard. Doesn't look like he's going to
There's the giant hits, and that's going to be game.
And Syracuse beating David City 2 in that set.
In that mirror matchup.
On the left, looks like it's Pekka Bridge Spam into that miner, the Mega Knight bait with the miner.
With those minions again, we'll see if they opt for a big spell or that magic archer,
Or potentially the NATO.
potentially.
That one we saw before.
Indeed. Good E-Wiz.
E-Wiz. blocks off those bats from crossing the river.
Spear Goblin stays alive, but no hits with that Royal Ghost. Goes back invisible before it goes over the bridge. No answer for the Royal Ghost. That's going to be a lot of damage.
It's an Inferno Dragon there.
Likely Elkhorn Valley willing to leak away that advantage.
Elkhorn Valley does have Zap and Ewiz and
Places that
minions.
P.E.K.K.A.
Inferno Dragon is not going to get much value this game.
Inferno Dragon stays alive.
Barely
but
crosses
Tower
the river.
shoots one shot, takes it out. Skeleton Bro got a lot of damage, but without that much to defend this with, that P.E.K.K.A. is going to get a lot of value.
Just jumps in place.
Coming the bats. Good Magic Archer and Zap on those bats.
Unless if the match...
Places Miner to continue that geometry there. Interesting play. Goes down a good 500.
Really good Magic Archer play from Elkhorn Valley. Lining it up on that Mega Knight.
Another P.E.K.K.A. in the back. Pressuring opposite lane with Spear Goblins. Chooses to ignore. Ice Wiz comes down a little bit late. We may see another dash on tower. Mega Knight comes down just in time.
Most likely going to be an Ewiz.
There comes that Ewiz. Miner offensively. There's the Zap. There's that Ewiz. Ewiz is only hitting the Spear Goblins.
There.
Good protection for that Inferno Dragon.
Really good defense from EMF.
Along with that Miner to get a little bit of damage along the way. Still down by 500.
Really a snowball here.
Without any big spell from Elkhorn.
Mega Knight. It's gonna be neither of these players have a big spell, so it's just gonna be whoever can get more damage.
That Miner circle may be able to do something. On the inside, shot by both towers.
Never expect the inside though. Just like that. That got a lot of damage there.
Never catch it.
If Elkhorn Valley gets one good Magic Archer connection though.
Indeed.
Or if EMF just gets one Mega Knight on tower.
Good Mega Knight jump to the Magic Archer. Royal Ghost doesn't quite hit it in time. Royal Ghost does in fact splash all three. Forces out an Ice Wizard. We'll likely see an Inferno Dragon here, but with the E-Wiz there, Miner offensively.
Miner on offense.
But has those bats to tank for E-Wiz. And the Spear Goblins again. Zaps the King Tower.
That is not going to be very ideal.
Amazing kite back with that Ice Wizard.
Elkhorn Valley leaking elixir here.
Miner gets more and more chips, bringing the lead into EMF.
Just keeps chipping at that tower with
Great
the Miner.
close game. Still leaking from Elkhorn Valley. Placing those minions on that Inferno Dragon, but there's already another one out.
Those offensive Miners are just so good from EMF. Just keep spamming those Miners on. And
finally,
Elkhorn Valley just lets them go.
The E-Wiz finally comes in on that Inferno Dragon in time, and now EMF is left struggling to defend this P.E.K.K.A.
There's a lot of spam coming in from Elkhorn Valley on this push.
Miner comes down just in time, but is it enough?
Magic Archer connects on
tower.
Enough. Looks like
comeback.
That is a really big push from Elkhorn Valley, and that wins them the game. That is
amazing.
That is just such a good push right there. Get all that in, and then EMF just does not have enough elixir.
Indeed. Great game. Great plays by both sides.
You know, like some of the decks, you don't see them every day, but like they're working.
They're proving to be very effective. Yeah, with these dual decks, it's difficult to run 4 conventional decks without learning all the different archetypes.
You really have to. You can't run beatdown every single time.
You can't run bridge spam every single time. There's only so many spirits. You can't run cycle every time.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see how different players play the different archetypes as well.
Indeed.
Like that bridge spam, he just kept going the same lane.
Yeah.
Some people split it up, some people, and it worked. He just overwhelmed EMF with all that bridge spam from Elkhorn Valley. It was really well played. I think we will be back with the championship between Stanton and Winnebago, Division 3.
Welcome back.
Okay, here we go. We currently have Elkhorn Valley playing. Wait. Give me a second. We got EMF playing David City 2 for 5th place, and David City 1 playing Elkhorn Valley 2 for 7th place.
Here we go. Looks like we've got another minor spam deck, another minor control. We've got this Mega Knight Speedy Balloon with that wizard showing up once again. We'll see if he actually gets that skeleton barrel behind for the first time today.
I feel like he might be trying to just doing the skeleton.
It's got to
barrel
be
in front
intentional if he's done it that many
because
times.
it really
Yeah.
does. It kind of
tanks for the balloon.
It tanks for the balloon, but it
And
doesn't make it go faster.
Yeah.
I feel like you can play it both ways.
And against things like Zap, it has that Zap come down early, oftentimes not hitting that balloon, which can help.
Interesting zap there
Misses
from
that zap.
EMF.
Wizard
And
takes
David
tower.
City 2. It's that early tower. On the right, David City 1 playing that Royal Hog cycle with the Archer Queen into that more traditional log bait with the mini P.E.K.K.A.
Good princess catch with that queen. But the firecracker's
It's
going
like
to get some
that
good
balloon
value.
with the rage comes in.
Protects
like-
the firecracker with the
So that's
Valkyrie.
some good damage for David City 2 on the left.
Great goblin barrel there. Get some good damage there. It's also good defense with those goblins in the ice golem. Good earthquake there on that Inferno Tower. And on the left side, we've got a big push coming in. That Mega Knight in the rage, along with all the skeletons, is going to take tower. EMF just struggling to defend here. Comes to this hog earthquake split once again. But David City 1 is just struggling to find enough single lane pressure to get anything done here. And with only 56 health left, it's just going to be one goblin barrel. They cannot. There comes the goblins. Great defense on the goblin barrel. But just one more arrows and that's the game.
Elkhorn Valley.
Still going for the split pigs. That's not going to be enough damage on either side, and that's going to be the game.
Some good pushes coming in from David City 2 on the left. With this Ram Rider Battle Ram, it's like having both of them in the same deck. You don't see that often, but when he places them, you can go opposite lane or same lane, and as you can see right now, he has some pretty good damage so far.
And either one can bait out a building, and if there's no building to play, then they can just, they'll oftentimes both
Especially
connect.
with those wall breakers, they can just keep baiting everything.
Indeed.
Looks like one of those wall breakers even gets a connection there.
Here comes Expo. Still not sure what type yet.
Expo from
Plays it
Elkhorn Valley
defensively
too.
for their first play.
It's interesting.
Miner in the back,
Might be trying to go for a spell cycle here.
possibly. There's the log on
EMF
tower.
gets the tower.
Great offense with that Mega Knight and Bandit.
When it dies, let me know and I'll switch you out.
Mortar placed too far back. Will not be getting any health in the tower.
It's like EMF and David City 2 are going to be tied up 1-1 at the moment.
Archer and Tesla take out that flying machine with an offensive expo. David City 1 only at 5 elixir places that minion horde without no arrows of fireball. That
is
minion
a
horde's gonna get a lot
really
of value.
good, incredibly good connection for Elkhorn
Here
Valley
comes
2.
in the miner. That's gonna be a lot of damage.
That tanks and those minions get on the tower.
Looks
Take
like
half of that tower out.
Elkhorn Valley 2's got to be running rocket here, or else you think they
Looks
would have
like
done something. for
David
that.
City 2 is running E-Giant. Has that E-Giant on the
E-Giant
tower
Witch.
on the left. That's a really big push from
First
there.
play.
Really good damage.
Here comes the Skeleton King with Tesla to counter.
Sometimes going in for risky plays first play, it's a really big risk, but if they are out of cycle at the beginning and their building's just hiding in the back of their deck, it can be really good.
That starting hand can indeed be deadly. Can sometimes mean the difference between a win and a loss. Arrows come in to defend that mortar. Knight comes down, but it's
Mortar
late.
is on tower.
Mortar is on
Let's
tower.
see if he has a tank for this.
Archer should defend.
Doesn't look like it.
Playing
Barely does.
siege versus siege here.
This is looking like some pretty good mortar connection for David City 1.
Elkhorn is playing the fireball. Don't know why they didn't fireball that minion horde earlier.
What's he doing? Unplugging everything?
There's that miner tanking for the expo. Then we have that expo shooting the mortar there.
That was my fault.
Tesla is taken out, but mortar gets that final shot in the expo, and that won't be any hits on tower. We're back with the EMF versus David City 2. Got that Witch and Golden Knight pushing. Witch still at full health with those skeletons to tank for it. Arrows come down late, and that's going to be a lot of
King
damage.
ability on the Expo on the right. With the arrows.
Even with the arrows, that's still going to be an Expo lock, which could be a lot here. But with only 700 health left.
It's going to be an interesting spell cycle because Elkhorn Valley does have that fireball.
But the Miner here with David City, with any arrows, good value here, but it seems they appear to be out of cycle. Skeleton King comes down late, barely protects that mortar. Mortar finishes off that archer there. Skeleton King ability, but the fireball cleans up. Both sides very low on elixir, but we may see an Expo here. Placing all their air cards early, they're struggling to won't have a tank here. But it looks like Elkhorn's would much rather play defense here.
That Expo, or the Miner, is on the back. Elkhorn Valley thinks it's going to be front. Places the Skarmy.
Elkhorn Valley does not seem very confident in their ability to outspell cycle. Still going for the offensive Expo. That log comes down early with that Skeleton King ability coming in with that extra graveyard. And here that mortar to tank.
Defensive mortar has to tank.
Mortar has so much health though. It tanks to the Expo for a long
Go for
time.
the defensive Miner. It's like on the left.
Arrows
David
on tower.
City 2.
Only 1 minute left. Heading into triple
David
elixir.
City 2 beating EMF in this first round.
Yep. David City 1 is winning by a little less than 200 damage. Here comes the
Let's go for that
fireball.
defensive fireball.
Expo locks the tower.
Expo
That is
gets
going
on
to be
tower.
game. Wow.
Expo gets past the ability.
Just barely.
That is such a good play from Elkhorn Valley 2 and so unfortunate for David City. The skeletons didn't quite spawn in and that Expo got on tower. Really good fireball from Elkhorn Valley 2.
Very impressive. Great plays from both sides. It's very interesting to see that Siege versus Siege matchup. Here we have EMF versus David City 2 again. Golden Knight in the back. Might be seeing another E-Giant here. Zap for that Goblin Barrel. Not something you typically see with the E-Giant. Here's the interesting push here. One E-Barb sneaks past, and the Golden Knight takes out the whole Goblin gang. That's going to be a lot of damage on that tower.
With
Rage
that
comes
Rage
down.
drop.
Knight is dead. Golden Knight is still tanking. That is tower. That's still going to take out that Princess.
On the right, we have Elkhorn Valley 1 and Syracuse playing for third place.
Very interesting how we were just talking about just that aggressive push first play while risky. If you catch the starting hand just right. And we see that David City 2 has caught EMF without their Inferno Tower, I would assume.
Especially since EMF went in for that Goblin Barrel at the same time. He was already down 7 elixir.
Indeed.
So it's just like almost like, yeah.
There's the defensive rocket. Another thing that was likely out of cycle.
Yeah, you just don't have enough elixir for it. It's just such a risky play. High risk, high reward.
But with only Zap and Rage, there is still a chance that this log bait here will be able to get enough damage. But with only a minute 30 and almost no damage on either tower, it's going to be difficult.
Definitely going to have to get a couple good Goblin Barrel connections.
Going to need to have a tank with that Goblin Barrel too. No kite back on the Dark Prince. And not Dark Prince. Golden Knight. And guards defend that Goblin Barrel. But it's down halfway already. With a minute left. Heading into double elixir soon. Misses the log on the E-Barbs. With the raids, that is going to be tower.
That is so unfortunate for EMF.
That may be the game.
That log just coming in a bit too late. And then that rage on it. Still trying to get that one more tower. And I have to see that early push from David City 2. It's crazy.
Still
and over
not
here,
showing Inferno
Syracuse.
Tower.
Syracuse just getting all those pushes onto Elkhorn Valley, just spamming at him with that P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam deck.
This minor earthquake, again, struggling to find much value here. With Rage coming down, missing the Spear Goblins, but
like
it doesn't matter because the Zap hits him anyway. It's maybe a 3 round. Indeed it is.
There's that 3 crown. David City 2 up by 1 on EMF. A split lane pressure from Syracuse on the right.
With Elkhorn still not at full elixir. Magic Archer connects. Zap on the bats. Pekka is still tanking. Forces to Earthquake.
Earthquake still doesn't kill
does
that
not
Magic
kill the
Archer.
Magic Archer. Pekka connects the tower. And we might be looking at a 3 crown here soon.
Magic Archer is pretty much a win condition at this point.
Indeed.
You can do so much with it. That's why it's such a good card.
Only that Minor and Earthquake. There isn't much that Elkhorn has here for it. There's that Battle Ram. High Bomb Tower.
On the left, you have that Pekka bridge spam deck going into another type of bridge spam.
We haven't seen much beatdown in a while. But I guess it's probably good for them, seeing so much Pekka.
Yeah, there really has been a lot of Pekka bridge spam.
I feel like a good Lava Hound deck probably could do well in this meta here.
There's not much air defense that's being shown anyways.
Indeed.
Looks like that Lumber Balloon is just going to take that tower, even with the balloon tanking.
Now the Lumberjack continues to tank, and the Balloon will continue to get even more hits.
That's a really good series of events for EMF.
Indeed.
The way that they just alternated, and then it looks like Syracuse is going to 3-crown Elkhorn Valley with that Pekka bridge spam into that minor control. It's just
Bringing
so
us to
hard to
1-1.
defend. See if EMF can defend it. Looking like that Pekka is going straight towards the tower.
Nothing to kite it after that. The
Tornado
comes in late. That Tesla a little bit too low. But with that King Tower below half health, EMF is still in the lead.
It's the same thing with that Pekka bridge spam though. You just get a good spam going and then they just can't defend it. If EMF overcommits on attack or on defending one lane, David City too could just get a Pekka and just like a bandit and just take the King Tower.
Tesla E-Spirit defending pigs for Syracuse. Going with the Hog Rider on offense. Opts not for that King Tower activation. Hog Rider still gets it. 2 hits, I believe?
Interesting Fisherman placement.
3 hits. Wow. Poison on that Ewiz and the Magic Archer. That Balloon
Really
is still
good
dead,
poison
though.
there.
Battle
This
Ram in
bridge
pocket.
spam coming down.
Directly. Good tornado. Takes
Barbs are
those
gonna
barbs
take
away.
that.
But we're going to need to see something else here to stop that Pekka.
There's
And there's
that other
another
Pekka.
Pekka with only 4 elixir left.
And that rage. Here's that thing. If EMF just can't defend this,
Poison on the Pekka. Clearly
he
there's
has
nothing
in
left.
cycle.
There's that
Gets
Tesla.
one more hit.
One more hit.
Just needs 1 poison.
Or 1 arrows even.
Oh, that's true.
Or Magic Archer even.
And he has arrows in cycle.
There's the arrows, and that's
there
the game.
it is for David City too.
Great comeback after
That's
that.
what it is with that Pekka bridge spam deck. You can just change the game so quick.
With that interesting split lane here against a Hog Poison Miner. Not things you see every day. E-Spirit comes down early, but keeps the Flying Machine in that poison, killing it. And equal elixir, Syracuse is up by almost 2,000 damage with only a minute left. Comes that Miner, not hitting the Musketeer. Zappies come down on that Hog Rider. Poison going to get a lot of value here, and that may be Tower, especially if this E-Spirit connects. It does not. Musketeer dies. Here's a Tesla. Great kite there. Gets all 4 pigs, even with the low placement. And here comes the delivery on the Flying Machine. All we need now is
It's like on the
Miner
left.
there.
On the left, it
E-Spirit
looks
comes down
like we're
early.
going to have EMF playing a minor control into David City's Mega Knight Hog. Interesting decks. It's going to be interesting to see if EMF can continue to defend this Mega Knight and Hog spam, especially when he starts going opposite lanes with it.
Syracuse only needing to defend for 5 more seconds. This final push, though, is getting a lot of damage on the tower, but that poison finally comes down, and that is going to be the game. Great defense by Syracuse throughout that whole match.
Really good from Syracuse right there. Really good defense and offense.
Even without much splash, they were still able to get those pigs down every time.
Yeah, really good.
If the Mighty Miner switch lanes with the delivery tanking for it, it's going to force out a log. Well, those skeletons hit those. with the Miner. Good Magic Archer geometry on the Skeletons. Magic Archer will continue to get hits unless it is blocked. Hog Rider comes down, pushes, avoids one hit. There's a Tornado to King Tower. No hits. Great placement. Great timing.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see how the meta is in this because Evos are not allowed, and Little Prince came out less than 2 weeks ago, so it is also not allowed.
Indeed. You see a little bit less poison.
Thango.
Like, if you played some ladder right now, you would not see a single P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Fan player without poison. But here,
And pretty
we've
much
seen a lot of them
everything
without
is
even a big
poison in
spell.
ladder. Everybody has a Little Prince poison.
Indeed. A lot of Miner, too. I also find people running a lot less air defense.
No.
Here, hold on.
With that building out of cycle, we may see a Hog Raider soon. But with spending all of its cheap cards, EMF is going to end up back to that tower very soon. And this counter push likely won't get much. Here comes the Hog Rider with a log.
Try this iPad.
There's the bomb tower. Spirit Goblins come down. Magic Archer to tank for the Spirit Goblins from the Firecracker. But it is not enough. But it turns to that Mega Knight. Good Night Kite there. And that is a dead Mega Knight. Bomb tower comes down early to pre-cycle. He's trying to throw down miners and spam cards to try and get back to it as soon as they can. If they can just keep that bomb tower down, that Hog Rider is not going to be doing anything anytime soon. Fireball's the Magic Archer. Going to get a little bit of tower damage, but not enough to take back that lead. Mega Knight comes down on those wall breakers, even with the cannon.
Okay, on the right, we have Elkhorn Valley versus Syracuse again. Looks like Syracuse is playing that drill with the wall breakers and Mega Knight. And Elkhorn Valley is playing that Mega Knight balloon with the freeze.
Without a big spell, though, EMF is going to be struggling, sweating to defend this. It's going to be difficult. Only a minute 20, though.
Those minor connections with those wall breakers, though, do massive damage.
David City is really going to need a couple Hogs next to catch up here. There's another wall
That
breaker.
wall breaker is huge. If EMF can just keep getting these.
With only
EMF's
just
defense has just been incredible this game.
And with that Magic Archer Tornado, 2 Spirit Goblins sneak by, getting 2 hits each. There we go. Bomb Tower Knight defends. The Magic Archer on the opposite lane to avoid that Fireball. Fireball comes down to cycle. Are we back to Bomb Tower yet, or will that Hog get through?
Here's NATO,
There's the
though.
NATO, though.
Perfect NATO with no hits taken.
Amazing NATO. Magic Archer is out of
Another
cycle, though.
Mega Knight.
Going to be difficult to get any damage, but I don't think he needs to. If he can just defend for 30 seconds. Nothing on that Hog Rider. NATO comes in late. Misses.
Hog misses. Log misses. That Hog Rider's just on tower.
With only 10 seconds left and only a 400 damage difference. Just a Hog hit and a Fireball could be this match. There's the Fireball, but will we find the Hog hit?
Doesn't look like it.
A
David
great
City
close game.
too. Barely takes that loss.
Miner first play.
Very well played by EMF.
With a Goblin
there,
Giant
with
at
that
the
spam
bridge.
defense at the end.
Here we see that aggressive first play not working out for once. With that Mighty Miner heat up, instantly destroying that Goblin Giant. Kite back with those wall breakers. Great play, forces that zap there, and that is a dead mini P.E.K.K.A. Here we are. Elkhorn has a good elixir advantage.
It's looking like EMF is going to be playing Electro Giant.
Looks like into this bridge spam of some sort.
And then EMF is going to go for the aggressive push.
Is this the funny deck again?
I think this is the funny deck.
Love to see it. Here we go. On the right side, Elkhorn Valley does a great job taking that elixir advantage and turning it into some real damage there.
EMF just getting some good pushes.
Back to that Mighty Miner.
EMF can just make it to triple elixir. He can just
There's
keep
the building.
spamming.
There's the zap, but it's not enough. Pulls out of the rage with that bomb tower. And we're at equal elixir with a decent counter push here. Nothing for those goblins until that Mother Witch comes down a little bit late. But it gets 2 hogs there. Bomb Tower only gets 1 hit on the hog. It's going to be a little bit of damage, but not enough to make up for what he lost. It's the miner cycle.
It's looking like Elkhorn Valley is just going to go in for that minor wall
There's
breaker.
that knight. No zap. Both
those
connect.
Both of them is huge, especially this early. Not even into overtime
There's that
yet.
firecracker is going to be splashing that minion there, along with that mighty miner to
EMF's
tank.
balloon gets on tower. David City 2 does not have enough elixir. That's an early tower before he even gets to double elixir.
An interesting RG deck, rather unconventional. That mini P.E.K.K.A should help. Along with that queen, it's going to be difficult to keep them all in cycle. A lot of leakage here. Those E-barbs will take out that Tesla, and then the rage, along with the freeze, it's going to be a lot of damage to that king tower. Queen forced out with a big step for that elixir deficit, along with 1 E-barb hit on that king tower.
EMF is just forcing out all the counters and all of David City's cards just to be used on defense.
Syracuse just not building up but pushing the back, just not pulling out that Sparky, allowing Elkhorn for the easy defenses with that mighty miner.
It's like Syracuse isn't going to be able to break through Elkhorn's defense.
With a good, clean defense from Elkhorn Valley throughout this whole game.
Elkhorn
2 seconds
Valley's
left,
just-
it's going to be game.
With those double miners, he can just keep putting them down and just keep applying pressure while defending at the same time. Really well played by Elkhorn Valley.
Indeed. We might see king tower taken right here.
Might see a 3-crown from EMF
It's through, and the
Looks
rage.
like it
What
is.
it? That's a 3-crown.
with the heavy cycle deck.
Indeed.
Beats David City 2, 2-0. Securing EMF 5th place.
Alrighty.
I believe, anyways.
There's so much miner. Even without that Little Prince, poison is still a very common spell here.
There's been quite a bit of that. And along with it's interesting how there's been just so much balloon also.
Indeed. I guess those archetypes often don't share very many cards, so it's easy to have a miner deck or a bait deck and then your cycle deck in addition to that. Here we go with Mega Knight Balloon, but with a good Mighty Miner and a good Bomb Tower. That should be an easy defense. Good bomb there from the Mighty Miner. Takes out the Dark Goblin. And David City is up on Elixir, along with a near 2,500 damage lead. Hog right of the bridge. Gonna see the Mega Knight here. That's still a hit. Bringing him down below 500 health. It's the Bomb Tower coming out early. We may see a balloon here on that opposite side. There we go. Without the Bomb Tower or the Firecracker, there isn't really anything David City has for that. But without any freeze, the balloon's only gonna get 3 hits, I believe.
It's like that hog from David City 1 did get through though. I think that hit on the tower.
Indeed. Without a big spell, David City still has a great chance of continuing to defend that left side there. Gonna need something for that Dark Goblin there.
The Dark Goblin Barbarian barrel push.
Getting some good value there. Misses the Bomb Tower. And that is going to be tower
Needs an earthquake here.
as we
Has
head
to
into
go for the
overtime.
tower trade. That is not the play that you want to have against that lumber loom, but
With this Hog Rider is going to struggle in this 2-tower situation. That King Tower to help out.
some good early damage for David City.
Cycles that Bomb Tower early, but with a balloon on the far right side. The only answer left is that Firecracker. Does not play the balloon though.
Now he plays the
There's
balloon
the balloon in the
inside
pocket.
rage.
Waiting for that building to die, but it comes back in
It's
cycle.
a really good bomb tower pull.
Great
from
kite there.
David City.
David City 1 still ahead. Only one with a somewhat semi-big spell here. That Earthquake. Dart Goblin does connect, though, getting that 500 damage. Nearly taking back that lead.
Looks like David City goes
With
in for
the mighty
squeegee.
minor play.
Misses
Misses the
the
tornado.
tornado.
Mega Knight on the wrong side. And that is going to be
Mega Knight
Tower.
hits him with the squeegee. Can't do anything about it because he misses the tornado.
With no reset tool either. Great play.
That is great play from David City.
Goblin Barrel first play. That's a Skarmy to counter. Maybe seeing bait mirror match up here. Goblin getting split. Get a little bit of damage on that left while defending that Skarmy. There's the Fireball. Misses the tower. Just enough elixir for Inferno Tower. But with that zap, that may be a hog hit still. At least it tanks
That
for that
witch
witch.
gets
With the
on.
skeletons to tank.
That's the
Barb Barrel
Barb
comes in a
Barrel.
little bit late. And that's a witch hit. David City 1 still up from those Spirit Goblin hits on the left. Great prediction log, but misses one Spirit Goblin. And without a rage, that is not going to be a hit.
On the left side, we have our Division III Nebraska State Championship match between Stanton and Winnebago. Winner just wins state.
Knight to defend that Skarmy with a Hog Rider. Not enough elixir for the Inferno Tower. Only skeletons to defend. With a zap on the skeletons, that's going to be a lot of damage. Good Barb Barrel to
That's a
take
lot
out
of
that
hard-
Firecracker. But that tower is down to half health.
On the left, looks like both are going to be playing Golden Knight. Winnebago's going to have that cannon cart, though.
Looks like this might be that Hogs deck again. Hog on the
Some
Goblin
interesting
Barrel.
decks.
Skeletons, all same lane.
David City
There's that
forces
mini
out the
P.E.K.K.A..
mini P.E.K.K.A.
There's
here's
the
those
Knight
Hogs.
and Skeletons. That interesting, choosing that Skeletons over the Spirit really helps against that mini P.E.K.K.A., but doesn't help that much against that Hog Rider. Not being having that Ice Spirit to stun it, and with that Zap to take out the Skeletons, there isn't that much going to be done. Misses that Inferno Tower kite, and leaves that tower at just below 400 health.
Yeah. Looks like Winnebago's going to be playing that split Hogs deck with
Mega Knight
a
comes
couple
down late.
interesting. And
Golden
then
Knight dashes.
Stanton's going to be playing that Mega Knight Mirror.
Fireball
Gonna
and
be
Witch.
Interesting. It's going to be hard for really Winnebago to get anything through when there's two Mega Knights that can be played back to back.
Places recruits a little far to the left. Splashes 2 on the left side.
Those
We've got
E-Barbs are going to be
E-Barbs
coming
opposite
down.
lane. We may see a mirror E-Barb opposite lane. It's another fireball on that
Cannon
witch.
cart defends that really good though.
But if Elkhorn Valley 2 shows any sort of big spell here, that will likely be the game. Good defense on that Hog Rider there. But without much to finish off there, Zap cycling.
Even so.
And there's the
that's-
Firecracker taking the tower. Elkhorn Valley 2 takes that game. On the left here, good fireball,
It's like
but without the fireball, Zappies can all be same lane. Come down a little bit early. Musketeer does not cross all the way.
this is going to be an interesting deck for Winnebago to try to get through.
Indeed, great arrows. Cannot Mega Knight both lanes, and that will be a lot of damage on the right, especially with
yet
that firing
anyways.
machine.
Really great connections on the right from Winnebago.
Now we have enough elixir for recruits.
Really good split lane pressure.
Recruits come a
too.
little bit high, and E-Barbs do not cross the bridge. That could
a
end up
cannon
with a
cart.
lot of damage. Good skeletons. That's going to be
Really good
those
defense
E-Barbs are
so
mostly
far.
dead. That's still a lot of
Musketeer.
Musketeer hits. Golden Knight comes down just a little bit late. And there's the mirror E-Barbs. But with the Zappies back, although he's
Zappies
back
all
to
one
Fireball, but opts for the Dart Goblin Snipe instead. Fireball is the flying machine, and that's going to be a lot of damage. Great arrows. Freeze comes down too late, and arrows clean up. And we're left with 2 minutes left in overtime. Winnebago up by 1,000 damage. Still with that split lane option, recruits the back. See that Golden Knight will likely get some good value here. Leaking back that elixir. We still see a lot of defense on that, specifically that right side. We might see Winnebago switch lanes here. Still ahead, even with just that left tower. Fireball hits that one Zappy in the flying machine. Pigs all same lane.
Winnebago
Not enough elixir for Mega
lot of
Knight, and
damage
that
here.
looks like it might be
That's just
game.
one arrows. Both sides are one arrows.
That's the
Right
game.
there. That's what's so good about that split lane deck. You can just apply so much pressure to both sides.
Indeed. And they can, even when they have that much damage there, they can switch lanes at any time. Focus damage either way.
So you can't really start pre-defending on any lane because you can just easily, simply swap.
Here we go with their second match. Hog first play. Only Valkyrie to defend. And a delivery. That's still going to be only one hit. But for a very negative elixir trade.
That's a pretty good counter push coming in though.
Indeed. But it's countered by Valkyrie. But the recruit's extra melee range allows it to kill that Valkyrie. Winnebago leaking. Both sides leaking. There's the Dark Prince. Comes in, gonna hit those goblins there. Firecracker comes down. Misses the goblins a little bit too late.
Splashes on the tower though.
But with the log and the Dark Prince of tank, that's not enough.
Let's see if
And that Firecracker's still alive.
Winnebago's Tesla comes out. It's going to be really good in dealing with that Hog Rider.
Again, we see that starting hand messing things up again. With Winnebago finding that Tesla, not in the first hog push, but only on the second.
It's going to be interesting mirror matchup here. Both
Indeed.
have pretty similar decks.
Pretty similar decks. And it's likely Stanton may still turn up with that Firecracker, as we've hardly seen any hog without Firecracker this whole weekend. Just such a good combo. Dark Prince in the back.
Stanton just leaking a bit of elixir here.
Takes out the shield with that log. Going in with that Firecracker.
Could go hog opposite
Could
lane
go hog
here.
opposite. That could be pretty big here. Does not use the Tesla. Still has it for that hog. That may be King Tower.
Really
Switches
good
sides with
defense
that
from
Goblins.
Really good defense from Stanton there.
A low
Not
Tesla could
overcommitting.
provide a King Tower, but it places it a little high and just opts for the delivery instead.
Like, both players are doing really good at not overcommitting a Tesla to a push without a hog.
Indeed.
They don't want to take too much damage here.
And there's the Predict Earthquake.
It's going to
Great play.
get
It's going to get a hit. Not
even-
quite. Valkyrie just picks it off in time.
some really good, like, let's see here. Does he pop an Earthquake from Stanton? Really does.
There comes a little bit late, though. And that Valkyrie looks like it will
Still
clean
gonna
up.
get a hit,
Valkyrie
though.
does not pick it off in
Valkyrie was
time.
a couple tiles too high.
Indeed. Comes that Earthquake. Earthquake misses that Firecracker, but lands a hit on those goblins. But
And
doesn't
gets
matter because the log comes down anyway.
So a lot of damage on that tower.
Winnebago finds the lead. Neither team has found a King Tower activation. Done a great job putting tanks in front of those Firecrackers, providing too much pressure. Gonna let that Firecracker hit go to even out that damage. Box Fire Spear with Dark Prince. There's another low Firecracker.
See if
Misses the snipe. There's a Valk at the bridge. Both wanting to protect those Firecrackers as best as they can. Great log Earthquake kills the Firecracker, along with the goblins dying to
gets a
Bago
couple
zone.
hits here. Stanton has to go in with the log. Stop the Firecracker from splashing.
a little bit aggressive with that Dark Prince. Leaves him at a slight disadvantage here.
Still at an elixir advantage though.
Now it's
Winnebago's elixir use is just off the charts
just
today.
great. Misses that Earthquake. Log misses tower. No log to clean off that Firecracker, which still is alive.
There's the elixir, a bit too little. Doesn't quite have enough for a Tesla there.
And Stanton pulls into the lead.
Really good counter push opportunity here though.
Winnebago here with a good counter push though. Ice Spirit, I mean, just in
Earthquake.
time. Great Tesla high again. Stopping that Earthquake from getting any value there. Log comes down. No goblins.
Really good Tesla placements.
There's the Valk early. Great Tesla dodging that Earthquake once again. But the log comes down, finishing off that Firecracker. Another Earthquake on the Firecracker. Finally takes it out.
Just Earthquake Cycle Simulator right here. Whoever can
Indeed.
get more down.
We see that Tesla going to come in late to dodge as much of that earthquake as they
Firecracker
can.
splashes on tower.
Firecracker splashed on tower. That's only one
That's
log.
one log.
There it comes, and that is the game.
That is Stanton.
Great plays by both sides. Stanton finally pulling it off.
Stanton's elixir usage was so good. Just deciding when to go in and when to keep defending and not overcommitting a Tesla to a push without a Hog Rider.
And I don't believe
Just
either
really
side
good.
ever found a King Tower activation that whole time. Just doing such a great
They
job
really
finding those
played
tanks.
so good. Not running the solo Firecracker into a lane.
Indeed. Bandit first play. Blocked by Bandit. Not Rascals. The big Bandit. Here's the Magic Archer. Looks like we're seeing Pekka Bridge spam again. Into this. Looks like that Battle Ram Rider once again. Or we might see Battle Ram opposite lane, or maybe an opposite lane kite attempted with that Pekka. Opts for that safer defense instead, spending 8 elixir though, which may be a little overcommitting. But that zap comes down, forces out of Rascals with a huge elixir advantage for Stanton. Even after the poison, still up by 1. Or 2 rather. Finding that Bandit to defend. And what does Winnebago have? Ram Rider to tank a little hits. And then we're likely going to see that Ewiz again there. And likely another push in the back. That snowball comes out again. And still up on elixir, but behind on damage here. There's that battle around the bridge. Oh, Baby Dragon and Dark Goblin. I don't know if that's enough. Just enough to stop the dash, but Barbarians still get hits. Baby Dragon will be tanking for the Magic Archer. Just barely misses that geometry.
There's been so much Pekka Bridge spam played today.
Indeed.
That Royal Ghost just getting on the tower. Winnebago choosing not to spend anything.
Bring it really low. Looks like we're likely going to have a Pekka, maybe an Ewiz here to defend that. There's the Ewiz. Very hesitant to play the Pekka, despite the complete lack of swarms from Winnebago. There's a good poison. Great Battle Ram connection.
Really good offense from Stanton with the split lane.
That's how you...
Especially when he overcommits with the bomb tower on the right.
Indeed. Now is when I'd expect to see a Pekka pretty soon.
Looks like that poison's going to take care of that Magic Archer, though.
Great E-Wiz, stunning both that Mighty Miner and the dash here. Great Dark Goblin here. Bandit dash kills the Dark Goblin. We've got a pretty big push here with rather tables and turns. Royal Ghost connects the tower, even with the zap and the bomb tower. That is going to be the tower.
That is going to be
Stanton takes the game.
2-1. That is just some really good Pekka Bridge spam placements and just gameplay in general. Just with that dual lane and not letting the other team build up a good push.
We've got that giant skeleton once again, along with a baby dragon on the other side. Well defended by those bats. The Firecracker getting a little bit of damage with that skeleton. Looks like we may be finding this. Looks like a giant skeleton clone deck.
This is going to be interesting.
With that Valk already dead, we might get a little bit of value here. Skeletons come down early.
Looks like it's going to be going into
Maybe a King Tower activation. No.
Looks like Winnebago's playing yeah.
It's like Splash Yard possibly versus a Giant Skeleton clone.
Looks like that graveyard gets cleaned up by that Skarmy, along with that Giant. It's not going to get much.
Giant connects the tower. Good 5 hits there. Wall Breakers forces out a tornado to that building there. And one of them may still connect to a tower. Not quite, but there's nothing left. Giant Skeleton Bomb is on the right side along with all those skeletons, and that is going to be a lot of damage. Both sides regaining some elixir here.
Looks like he's going to go for an early arrows on that firecracker.
Nothing for that bomber now. So we got that tornado with that splash from the baby dragon.
Stanton
Takes out bomber.
To go opposite lane with those wall breakers.
One connects, and that's the tower. With only 30 seconds left, it's going to be difficult for Graveyard here to find a good enough
Double
push.
Giant Skeleton coming in. Let's see how Winnebago just
value here.
Not letting those Giant Skeleton bombs get on the tower.
But some great baiting. Very difficult to get any value with that arrows. That isn't immediately made up for.
Really well played. It's crazy to see how good some of these players are at defending stuff.
It's quite literally some arrows bait right here.
It's going to be some really good arrows value.
But the arrows are just out of cycle.
Prediction tornado on the
Great
Skarmy.
Tornado, and that is the tower.
That gets him tower.
Great comeback. Just
Great
2 seconds
tornado.
before the time runs out.
Prediction tornado on the Skarmy. Gets him that tower. Let's see if he can get anything else with the other one. Stanton's coming in with that push, though. The 2 Giant Skeletons. Everything hits the tornado back into the Valkyrie. It's a really good play. Those arrows, too. It's a really good defense.
Couple
Only gives
skeletons
up a
still
couple
connect.
Skeletons. Otherwise, it's a pretty clean defense.
Forces out Baby Dragon to tank for that firecracker there. But with a Giant to push for it, Baby Dragon's going to get a lot of damage there.
Tornado.
Tornado there.
Baby Dragon's
still
locked on the
connecting.
tower.
Only bats finally.
Making it even with damage.
Some great plays. Here's the wall breakers. There's the cannon.
Yes, this is currently happening right now. It's live.
This is great.
Yes. It's looking like there's only 20 damage lead from Winnebago.
Both sides trying to build up some sort of push here.
The chip wall
breakers
get
both
pulled by
get
that
pulled.
cannon.
Arrows unnecessarily. And we find himself with Giant Skeleton in that
Try to
pocket.
get back to a tornado here.
There's the tornado.
Needs
Valkyrie dies, and those skeletons are still alive, but the Baby Dragon quickly
Those
cleans them
double
up.
bombs. Neither player has a big spell.
Neither player is able to spare a spell on the tower. There goes a zap to cycle.
Winnebago has those arrows, but he cannot use them.
Gets defends from that skeleton barrel death damage, but here comes the firecracker,
That
blocked by the
firecracker's
Baby
still-
Dragon just in time.
Just needs the arrows on the tower.
That zap cycle is getting a lot. There's the Giant in the pocket. We're going to need a cannon here, or else
That is
skeleton barrel
that is
death
that on
damage.
tower.
But Giant connects the tower just
Giant
in
got a
time.
punch on the tower.
Great game.
100 damage for Winnebago.
Wow.
That is such a close game. Neither player is having a big spell. Just barely winning that out for Winnebago.
Getting to that second round here. Princess the Bridge first play.
Looks like it's going to be a log bait.
Ice Spirit bats to defend. On with a miner to tank.
Really
Bats
good
connect.
play there. Those bats get on tower. And
Dark
that's
Goblin
just
comes in late.
early 500 damage.
Looks like we've got a good log bait here.
That
against
Dark
another,
Goblin gets on tower, though.
another miner. Goes for the lane switch to tank for that Goblin Barrel. No small spell appears. That's going to be a lot of damage.
Really good play from Stanton.
Goblin connects on the left side.
Keep in mind, Stanton and Winnebago were both undefeated before coming into this tournament.
Good Goblin's catch on the minor. One bat still connects. It's going to be a Goblin hit, though. There we go. First tower below 2,000 here. Standing in the lead. 2 minutes to go. That 3-card cycle log bait is going to be really deadly if Winnebago fails to show up a small spell. Look at that first Goblin Barrel.
Doesn't look like he's having one, otherwise he would have played it.
In just 3 cards, we'll see another Goblin Barrel here.
That Dart Goblin just staying alive on the other side of the
Here
bridge.
we go, back to Goblin Barrel here.
That Dart Goblin just getting so much value.
Both towers down by another good 200. Here comes Princess of the Bridge. Chipping away even more.
There's
2
a chance
hits.
that Winnebago has poison here, which could be crucial with the minor, getting a bit of more damage. But
No poison on those goblins there.
Stanton,
Possibly Earthquake even.
Stanton
seen a lot
has
of
that
that.
1,000 damage lead right now with the log bait
We'll
into
see
some
how-
sort of minor deck.
See how double elixir changes things. Good Dart Goblin.
That Dart Goblin just gets so much value. And without having arrows from Winnebago, the prediction arrows with it,
That is going to
a
be
really good play
a
from
lot of
Stanton.
damage. Just a couple more Goblin Barrels, and that should be tower. There's the poison. Coming out a little bit late. Nothing for the Dart Goblin, only on the Dart Goblin. It's a negative trade there, just doing everything they can to defend that tower.
Switching
Switches
lanes
for the
with
tank.
that again.
And there we see that is going to be the tower.
Not having a small spell against log bait is really hurting them right now.
Especially this 3-card cycle one here. Allowing to get so many Goblin Barrels. With only 2 seconds left. Looks like that's going to be the game. Bringing it
That
to 1-1.
Tied up a 1-1 right now.
To one final crucial game. We're likely to see some cycle here from Stanton, having yet to play it here in this set of dual decks. Here comes one cycle card.
It's like he gets that King Tower activation early.
Great King Tower with that bomber.
Sending Electro Spirit alone at the bridge first play is really risky.
Especially with this Hog Rider deck.
Especially Hog Rider. That
You
is
typically see an Ice Spirit. Still gets some good damage. Looks like, is this that? The Wizard is here.
both running E-Spirit.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. cleans up the Wizard. There's a Mini P.E.K.K.A. to answer for that. And that still needs a defense. There's the defense. Got Executioner.
Looks like he's going to play some sort of Hognado here.
Indeed.
Potentially with Rocket.
Indeed. Here's
Decides
E-Golem.
to go E-Golem
Opposite lane.
Trying to go for
Wizard to
some
defend. Decent defense for having spent that opposite lane push. But with Stanton back to Xe, or close to back to Xe, often like they have a building too. There it is. There's the Fireball. Doesn't go for the tower at all. There's a Mini P.E.K.K.A. And that won't be very much damage here. Likely see a good counter push here from Stanton as well. No rocket shown. Likely a tornado still. There's that Mini P.E.K.K.A. Does not kite the other side. Forces out a bomber. Along with that E-Spirit.
Oh.
May still get a connection, but King Tower and the other tower reach across and
It's
kill
looking
it.
like Winnebago is not going to have a building here.
There's the Archers. No tornado at all, actually. It's going to be
Interesting
difficult to find
decks.
damage.
Going up against, playing first off Elixir Golem without Battle Healer is very uncommon. Same thing with doing the Hog Executioner without Tornado.
Indeed. Could still show Battle Healer for this final card, but you barely
Yeah.
see them on that offense go without it. Here's
Yeah,
that
it's
Wizard Eagle.
quite. And they don't have a building, so Winnebago going against a
Mini P.E.K.K.A. breaks through, but it's only one hit.
the Bomber splashes.
Good Fireball. It's not quite enough to gain that advantage. And here comes that Hog Rider. with no real answer for it. It's guaranteed damage. That may be tower.
Not having a building when going against Hog Rider is just so difficult.
Mini P.E.K.K.A. does land a hit on the other Mini P.E.K.K.A. Earthquake does not kill that bomber. We've got a decent counter push here, actually, with 22 seconds remaining. Early Rage does not hit anything else. Here comes a Fireball.
Fireball.
Fireball hits Mini P.E.K.K.A., but now there's archers to defend. Nothing else.
Doesn't look
With
like
10 seconds left,
Winnebago's
unless he
gonna be
pulls
able to
out
get
like a
through.
pocket rocket. There's nothing else. Raids on tower.
It's not enough damage for Fireball.
Looks like that's the game.
It's like Stanton wins this one.
Great defense by Stanton.
Amazing. Stanton's defense there and his attacks with those Hog Rider, knowing that he can't do anything about it on Winnebago's side. And then Winnebago just kept trying to get those pushes through, but it just wasn't happening with how good of a defense it was on Stanton's side.
Indeed. Here we go with our next game. Prince the back before they even get to 10. See how this goes. Zappies.
Looking like either Royal Giant or Split Lane.
Indeed. Although I have seen some variations of P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam with those Zappies. Especially
that is true. That is true.
in these duo decks where you often have E-Wiz possibly in a different deck. Going for
Definitely.
leaking.
Flying Machine, though, it's definitely that Split Lane deck.
Definitely.
And going into
Archers.
maybe a Mega Knight, yeah.
Great dash. Mega Knight comes down late. But it does tank for that Flying Machine. Tower does not shoot Flying Machine. Forces out a Dark Goblin. That's going to be a lot of damage on that Mega Knight.
Having this Mega Knight here against this deck is quite good.
But with it already gone, a good Pigs right here could be a lot of damage.
The Royal Ghost as well, but Royal Ghost, it defends Pigs, but it really doesn't.
Especially if we have a Fireball here to knock it back.
A Fireball would be really good for Winnebago to show here.
But just a Pigs the bridge. So there it is. Likely with possibly Predict Spell here.
No Fireball.
No Fireball comes. Forces out arrows, though. Ends up with a
Looks like no building
6 for 5 trade, along with a bunch of damage.
It's really not looking the best for Winnebago here. He has to get one good push through.
We'll see. That's a Goblin Cage, fighting another good answer for Mega Knight. It's going to be a difficult game for Winnebago here.
And then Winnebago is going to have to save Mega Knight, probably, but then you can't get much damage without your Mega Knight.
It's going to be hard to get any offense, indeed. It's the Pig split.
It's that Split Lane.
Already going for damage on that left tower.
Really
Flying
good
Machine
split, and then this
does not
dash.
connect. Good Prince defense. A
Really
great
good
dash, though.
Stanton's just playing
That Flying Machine
incredibly
does
good right
connect
here.
to the archers there, forces them out for another 3 elixir. And Stanton is still ahead on elixir. Leaks it back, though. There's the Sparkies. Zappies.
Split like they always are, and then he's probably going to go in for a recruits right there. Yep.
There's the Mega Knight.
Flying Machine mid.
The opts to arrows the same lane as that Mega Knight. Likely not thinking they're going to be able to defend that right tower. Just going for a big offense.
He's going to have the Pigs on the right, though. It's just going to go. It's going to be so hard for him to
Dark
defend.
Goblin stays alive. Takes care of the Flying Machine. There's the Goblin Cage gone. Now would be probably the only time to have an offense. But without much of an elixir advantage, looks
Doesn't
like they're
have
going to have to
enough
stay
elixir.
defensive.
Really can't waste his Mega Knight on offense, because then he doesn't have anything for defense.
Indeed.
Stanton can just control the whole tempo of the game by how he attacks.
With only 2 minutes left, it's going to be difficult for Bago to catch up with that much damage. Mega Knight comes in just in time. Archers to clean up that Flying Machine. Fireball comes down. Wall breakers the kite.
It's like he's trying to get something here, but
Still
Winnebago
on the
just
equal out elixir. And then the recruits. Not enough for recruits with those pigs, but he may not be able to defend.
looks like if one gets pushed away, that Goblin Baru is just gonna.
And there's only
Oh.
2 fireballs left, though.
It's one Pigs and he has it.
Minor wall breakers come down. A little bit of desperation showing through. Fireball. Great fireball.
Winnebago's just trying to get something to happen, but Stanton's just keeps defending and pushing in.
Archers can't reach the flying machine. And Barb Barrel comes down. And this may be the push. There he goes. Not
That
enough for
flying
Mega Knight,
machine's
and that
on
is the
tower.
game.
Winnebago just like not being able to get anything through, 'cause Stanton's just like controlling the whole speed of the whole game based off of just how fast everything's going, based off of what cards he uses.
Indeed.
He has to say Mega Knight, he has to say Minor.
It's a tough matchup.
Really is.
Hog Rider first play. This time actually on the outside. Good tornado, no hits. We find Queen the Bridge. Interesting, at an elixir deficit.
Just
Immediately
not looking
ability.
the best because he just
No value with that. Gets Ebarb's Rage at the bridge. Only 5 elixir to defend that. There's skeletons.
Can
Likely
pull.
we'll see great kites there.
really good pull.
Still see that cannon come out. Amazing defense
nothing
there.
if he balloons here though.
Indeed.
Stanton still gets 1 E-barb hit.
A balloon the bridge could be deadly though. Up on elixir. Goes pump the back. This may rather be Golem. There's Earthquake. Very unfortunate for this matchup for Stanton.
It's a positive elixir trade, but could definitely be Golem here.
Good tornado.
Really good tornado.
Especially with
Doesn't
that bomber. It's got to be Golem, doesn't it? Maybe E-Golem. We've seen some interesting runs here today. There's that giant skeleton.
If Winnebago plays his cards correctly, he can make it so Stanton can't build up a good Golem push, though.
Indeed.
He keeps going opposite lane.
Not enough to Hog Rider with this, but he will have ability for those E-Barbs. It's a dead push right there.
Skeletons there to
Great
tank.
skeletons to tank, and then maybe not enough for Hog Rider
Not
yet.
quite enough.
Was that baby dragon there. Keeping Stanton down around 4 and 5 elixir. There's the Ice Spirit. And here's another Hog, forcing another defense here. It's going to be a 5 elixir defense again, keeping that advantage for Winnebago. And possibly another pump.
Yeah.
Likely we'll just see a Golem in the back here.
Looking really even so far.
Cannot afford to Golem with that giant skeleton providing just too much pressure. If that bomb gets on that tower,
Especially when he's playing Hog Rider and he has the Earthquake to cycle.
indeed.
It's going to be really hard for Stanton to get down a Golem here.
Send up on elixir for once. Maybe able to start setting up a defense here early. And there's the Golem middle. Enough elixir for tornado.
Really good tornado there.
But then Archer Queen ability gets pushed into the river, sorta. And we're back to another cannon. So that Golem isn't doing anything on its own. No Night Witch to go with that Golem, interestingly enough.
It's actually quite interesting. But
We'll see another Queen here soon.
these E-barbs, though, with that rage, are going to be
We need to-
in that baby dragon.
that baby dragon splash. And one E-Barb connects the tower. Good tornado.
That E-barb is on
Queen
the tower.
comes down late.
No elixir to
Looks
deal
like
with
that
it.
is going to be the game.
That's Stanton.
Great push from
2-0
Stanton.
over Winnebago right
Winnebago.
there. Really good from them there. Okay. So it looks like we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to be back with your awards.